I'm in the city now. That has changed somewhat because now with what they've done with downtown. See, many cities, I believe, it's determined by their downtown. It's determined 10 or 15 years ago. Man, you go downtown LA, it was a ghost town.
Yeah.
But now with the Staples Center, with LA, is it LA Live?
Yeah.
Now the hotels they're building, whatever. Now LA has changed, but man, I tell everybody, all right, I'm gonna give you one. What I mean by that is, I'm gonna give you one meeting, and if we meet, and I give you some advice,
and you don't do it,
and then you don't do it, we ain't meeting again. Because, I mean, I'm just being straight up.
Yeah.
Because it really is, because for me, it is about, it's about, all right, you want, but here's my philosophy. You going there. And I'm like, look, we trying to sell this thing.
Right. And what did I do after that?
Yeah. She's like, woo, okay, all right. So she got my guy, Keenan Weiss. I'm working on the website. Changed it, stripped all that stuff down. Because this is a competitive field we're in, and all of a sudden, I mean, things change, and that's just the reality. That's what goes on, and so that's why I did that. And so, and I'm telling you, what Rachel did was, which I'm telling you, a lot of people who I deal with, they don't do this. She was like, I did this. Okay, so how's this? That's better.
You're never gonna get from Roland, oh, that's fantastic.
No, you're not going to get that.
Such a great job.
You're not going to get that.
Wow, what growth. You're not going to get that.
No, you're not going to get that.
I still haven't got that.
You ain't going to get that. Because after you grow, I'm like, all right, here's what's next.
Okay, right. There's always next.
Yeah, I ain't going to do that. I ain't going to do it. So, folks, I'm talking to Dr. Rachel. Y'all can give us a call. If you do want to ask her a question, you can do so. 888-669-2281. 888-669-2281. I know some of y'all are on Periscope, and you're on Meerkat, and you got questions as well, and we'll try to read those as well. So you can ask a question, we'll answer it, or you can call us 888-669-2281. This is the Roland Martin Show, kicking with Dr. Rachel. We'll be back in a moment.
That's pretty cool.
That's what happened over here.
We got that mic is baller, very good show and informative.
Hold up. When you give advice and the person doesn't do it,
that person is called
an asshole.
That's
funny. Hey, Meerkat, what's happening? Y'all good?
Cat, look at all these people you got here. Hey, everybody.
Now, here's what's crazy about Meerkat. Meerkat is stickier than Periscope. People quickly hop on Periscope, but they hop on and off. But Meerkat, what happened? I'm telling you, by the time we get to the second hour or the third hour, get to the second hour?
Yeah.
You're going to probably have more than 100 or 200 folks on. So it's real interesting.
That is really
how sticky Meerkat is.
Really cool.
Hey, Periscope.
Hey, Periscope.
And we're over here,
so cool. And then you're on Google Hangout.
Yeah, we're on Google Hangout here, too.
So can people message you on that, too?
You know what? I think they can. Let me figure out, where is it? Is this it? Chat. Boom, there it is.
Oh, that's so cool.
Group chat. Okay, where did I type? Oh. Hey. There you go.
That's pretty cool.
So, yes, we're streaming on 4 different platforms right now. Dan, good morning on stream. What's up? Good to see you. Hey, I want to know for the people on stream, on Meerkat and Periscope, where y'all from? And the same thing on Google Hangout. Where y'all from? Let's do a roll call. Hey, Matthew, how you doing? Let's do a roll call. So I'm going to shout out people who are on Periscope. Chicago. We see you. Orlando. We see you. Las Vegas. DMV. Chicago. Atlanta. Georgia. Northwest Houston. Dallas. Grand Rapids, Michigan. Boston, Massachusetts. Good to see all y'all on Periscope. How y'all doing? Hey, Google Hangout. Y'all can also tell us where you're from.
We got Detroit.
Meerkat. We got Detroit over here. We got Jamaica, Charleston, South Carolina. Hey, Ryan from Jamaica, man. What's this here? We got California over here. Got Cali in the house. So we got all kind of things happening.
That is so cool. Look at you.
Come on now. You know I got to Come on, people, they want to access it. And then of course, we also podcast the show, too.
Ah, cool.
Yeah, we also podcast the show.
So immediately afterwards, this becomes a podcast.
Well, actually, here's what happens. So, Periscope, what'll happen is, as soon as we're done, it will save, and then for the next 24 hours, you can actually see it. Meerkat doesn't do that, but you can save it to your iPad for whatever purposes. But actually, here's what's cool though. There's an app out there. What they do is called, what's it called? Twatch? It's Hatch? Something like that. Anyway, I'll get a tweet and they'll say, hey, we got your video, and so they load it on YouTube. So I'll get a notification, and so I just retweet that. Cool. But Google Hangout, the moment we finish, stop broadcast, it automatically archives. It's available on the internet.
Oh, wow.
Yep. All right, here we go.
I think I've seen you on CNN.
Hey folks, welcome back to the Roland Martin Show. Having some fun with Dr. Rachel here, and we're going to talk about some sex stuff. We're going to stay on top of the Me Inc. Because that's really what it's about. And so we went through all that. So, and again, I'm helping some of y'all out because I was giving Rachel advice in terms of website, in terms of branding, in terms of speaking. Then I began to put her on the Tom Joyner Morning radio show. More people begin to hear her. Then they will call her other times. Other people will call. So how did the doctors come about? Because all of that exposure led to that.
Sure, absolutely. I mean, so I started doing some local TV in Chicago.
Right.
After I left my radio show and radio took a dive. Because my love is radio. I love radio. I love being able to communicate with people like this. So I started doing some local TV in Chicago, and then I took a break from that, and I started doing more online stuff like Ustream, and really trying to capture the needs of the audience and trying to answer sex questions and give them sexual health information. But then with the doctors, what I did is LinkedIn. LinkedIn has like a premium version to it. So I paid that $35 a month so I was able to inbox and in-mail people that I didn't know. And so I watched all the shows that I was interested in, particularly the doctors, and wrote down all the names of the producers and executive producers that I saw on there. Went then to LinkedIn and found them. But in the meantime, I was putting together a really slick sizzle reel. Put together a nice sizzle reel, put a lot of energy into making that right, and then I sent the leak over to the executive producer, who was Andrew Scher at the time. He took a look at it and was like, well, let's talk. Originally they were like, well, we have a lot of doctors in California. We don't really fly people in from Chicago. And it's funny because I sat in the mirror ahead of time and practiced what I was going to say. Practiced being Roland and being, really sure and really, forceful about what it is that you can do. And so I practiced it, and when they called, I was like, well, you may have doctors in California, but you don't have anyone like me. I gave them A, B, and C, and D as to why. And they said, okay, we don't have anything coming up, but we'll call you if something comes up. And within a week. So what happened, and so follow me here, folks. So not only that, for folks to understand, it's not about you're going to get that job the first time you talk to them. So they called you for a segment. Yes. They called me for a segment.
Now they called her for a segment, then she called me.
Yeah, I did. I was like,
But here's the thing, and again, I need y'all to follow me. This is what I told Rachel. I need y'all to understand. I said, you gotta hit it every time. You can't be okay. You can't be good. You gotta hit it. You gotta have that line, that one line, that twist of a phrase, something about it. You gotta be informative and funny and sexy and interesting all at the same time. And you want them to say, man, that was hot.
Yes. And so that's exactly the advice you gave me. I got to California, they flew me out, Southwest Airlines. I'm like, oh my God, I'm going. So, they fly you out. We did the segment. It was over so quickly. And then the executive producer comes out and he's like, oh, this was great. Maybe we can do more things.
Mm-hmm.
And so as they kept calling me back, they called me back that season a total of 7 times.
Mm-hmm.
And no, I wasn't getting paid for that, but they were paying for me to come. And I was
you're getting exposure. Your time was the investment.
Yes, I was building, and then and at that time, a lot of haters are like, so I mean, are they paying you for that? I'm like, no, they're not paying me for this.
I did, and this is what I told Rachel.
Yeah.
I said, Rachel, I did free television appearances for 4.5 years before I got the TV One deal, and before I had the TV One deal. But we were doing interstitials. We were doing 60-second commentaries.
Mm-hmm.
And so I had that. But then the CNN deal didn't come until 2007. But that was 4.5 years. And I tell people, you have to understand about the investment and then the payoff.
That's right. Absolutely. And it was investing and paying off as we sat there. And I'll never forget it. There was one moment where the executive producer comes up to me. He's like, are you ready? I'm like, yeah, I'm ready. Because, I realized this was my moment. I said, now, if I'm good, they're going to keep calling me back, and then maybe I can be on the show permanently the next season. So he comes to me and he says, get out there, girl. Get out there. Be like, I represent the African Americans. I represent the African Americans. And I was like, screw her. And so it was the first time I realized, I was like, well, part of the reason I was there was because I was African American. I thought I was a good doctor. I was a sexologist. But at that moment, it's like you're so busy thinking that the one thing, oh, okay, well, I'm a black doctor. There's already a black doctor on there. This might not work for me. But the one thing that I was kind of like, I don't know. Do I want a black doctor with blonde hair on the show? The one thing that I was feeling a little hesitant about was the thing that he was like, get out there, you're black, girl, go get it. And I was kind of like, oh, this is kind of weird. But at the same time, I finally understood how Hollywood worked. And I finally understood that, that being an African American on television is something that you may not think that people see you as a black guy every time they watch the show, but it is. It's just part of something. It's part of something when we walk into a room, and it's part of something when we're on the television show.
And it's called not running from it.
Yeah, exactly. So I ran to it.
And so when did all of a sudden they say, all right, fine, we want to make you a permanent member of the doctor?
Well, after about the 4th time, I kept saying, oh, guys, you should have me on here all the time. I'm also a family medicine doctor, remember? So I can talk about diabetes.
Now, stop right there. Stop right there. Stop right there.
Oh, there you go.
Stop right there. What did I say? Own sex.
Yes.
Own sex.
Yes.
When you walk in that door, then you can expand from there.
Yeah.
I said sex is what's going to get you in the door, and then you can say, I could do some other stuff.
Right.
Now go ahead.
And that's exactly what he said. And that's exactly what I kept reminding them. I'm like, so, any other topics you'd like to discuss? I do this every day in my clinic, so we can do that. And so by the end of the season, that's exactly, I don't know if I was planting the seeds by saying you should hire me, but by the end of the season, they're like, yeah, we definitely want to do something with you next season, so we'll be in touch. And so that's history. And then they came to me and was like, well, we want to add you to our cast.
So you've been on how many years now?
Well, I did the guest performances, whatever you want to call it, for a season.
Right.
And then after that, I was hired on. I just completed my 2nd season with them. And so, now they pay me, and it's nice, and it's great, and I feel like it's one of the best jobs I can have at this point in my life. And, the idea that I'm reaching so many people, so many different places, and so many different countries just really kind of makes me feel like I'm doing what I was put on earth to do.
Now, question I have on Periscope from someone is, how do you become a sexpert? So what about your people always get hung up on credentials.
Sure.
So talk about that.
So there are a lot of aspiring sexologists out there, and I want them to understand that to be a sexologist, you can be a sexologist any way you decide to. For me personally, I went and got a PhD in sexology. That doesn't mean that you, in order to be a sex expert, there's some people who just start writing articles, and now they're a sex expert. There's some people who have sex a lot and that think that makes them a sex expert. But for me personally, I went and got a PhD in sexology after I finished medical school. So because I knew knew I wanted to be the person who was speaking about sex and informing people and educating people.
But people also
people get hung up on that.
But people also don't understand that human sexuality is a field. That's not just, oh, I wrote a book about how to have sex. No, it's actually a field.
Yes, with studies and degrees and everything else. So, I mean, you can be a sexpert. There's sexperts out there that have gotten that way through a myriad of ways. But for me personally, I have a PhD in sexology. And so sexology is the study of sex, the who's, the how's, the why's, the why do you feel this way, the how can we help you not feel this way, how can I make things work better, how can we do this together. So my practice tends to be more so of couples as opposed to individuals. But, you know, sexology is one of the most interesting fields I think anyone could ever go into. So for those of you who are thinking about it, hats off. It's great.
What is interesting about the issue of sex is the fact that we are so afraid to talk about it, to deal with it, to own up to it.
Yes, absolutely. And you know, it's interesting. I think when we had the 50 Shades of Grey, and why is everybody so into that? Well, what it is we're just starving,
right,
for honest kind of conversations and dialogues and about sex. I mean, we can find it online, but you can't really find people talking about it, describing it. Unfortunately, we've got a whole bunch of people who really watch a lot of porn and think that that's how sex is supposed to be.
Right, and porn has, first of all, porn has absolutely altered people's idea. Because, first of all, that is the exception, not the norm. Everybody, penis size not that big.
Nope.
Every woman don't have sex that way.
No.
That's right. You go on and on. Bottom line is, and it's like, it has caused folks to have this whole different view. It's like, you know, seriously, I need you to come back to reality.
No, definitely. I'm glad you said that. Particularly, I remember when I first started practicing sexology, you know, anal sex was kind of something that people did on holidays. They didn't really talk about it. You know, it's like a little...
No, but here's what's funny. You start like whispering, you're like,
holidays, you know, for gay male couples. Well, you know, now anal sex is becoming part of the repertoire of a lot of heterosexual couples. But the problem I have with porn is that anal sex has made everybody think that the anus and the vagina are very similar things, as if one's tissue is very similar. Well, they're two different things. With the vagina, it expands and it's elastic, right? Versus the anus, it actually tears during penetration. So, which is why it's a much riskier form of sexual activity.
Hold tight 1 second on that point. I got to go to a break.
Yeah.
The number to call is 888-669-2281. 888-669-2281. This is the Roland Martin Show. Back in a moment.
This gentleman said, I got my PhD pimping hoes daily.
See, some people just ignorant. Some folk just ignorant. You can't let some folk just talk. Can't let some folk just talk.
PhD pimping hoes daily.
Yeah, I hear you. I see a call. I got it. All right, that's fine. I got it. All right, cool. Thanks. Testing 1, 2, 3. I got it. What up, folks? Periscope. All right, we're gonna get to the good books about sex. I got you. I got your question. You know, let me close this with. That's too much light. You know, actually, it's good. Light's good going the other way. So
okay,
it's on me.
So pretty much when you travel, you go do a lecture, you bring all of this with you.
Yeah. I mean, it's not like there's a lot of stuff.
No, it's not.
Let's see here. Sex is very important for our life. I got you. That's the one thing. I need Meerkat to increase the font size.
Yeah, that's true.
It's too damn small. Now, maybe y'all can tell me there's a way to do it. But let me know how to increase the font size. Because Meerkat, their texting is way too small. So like sitting from here, I can read Stream or even Periscope. But I can't do How does Doc have time to see patients? All right, we're gonna answer. We're gonna answer that question too. We're gonna answer that question too. Now, what I like about Stream, so a little about Stream, they go horizontal, whereas Meerkat is vertical, Periscope is vertical. So the problem is it's hard to get. You can easily get 2 people or more in a horizontal.
I see.
Yep.
That's
Yep. That's the only. That's
a drawback.
Mm-hmm. Do I like tennis? It's alright. I prefer golf.
I play tennis. I love tennis.
Golf. Kappa's just dealt us with canes. I agree.
I got so much done before Periscope came on. That's great.
Good books on sex. We'll talk about it. Oh, okay, Dan. Great. I'm gonna do that. Finally, I was talking to Lauren. I think it was Lauren with Periscope, and she was telling me about the update. So let's see here. What y'all sent over there on Meerkat? Let's see. Periscope is working on a landscape option. They need to. Trust me. Same thing for Meerkat. All right, here we go. We're back on the radio show. All right, y'all ready? All right, here we go. And y'all understand, it is a radio show, so I can't talk to you. I can't talk to you when Guy Torrey, what's up, my brother? Man, you know Guy. How Guy gonna sit here and send me a text on Periscope? I want to come on the show. Guy got my phone number. Guy, you got my cell phone number.
Like, text me, bro.
Right. What you mean you want to come on the show? You got my number. All you gotta do, Guy Torrey, is hit me up and say, yo, man, I'm coming to town. Boom, you on the show. Boy, I tell you. All right, let's go. Folks, welcome back. Welcome back to the Roland Martin Show. Oh, my goodness. Some folks are funny. So, y'all, we sitting over here. We're talking to Dr. Rachel. And we on Google Hangout. We're on Meerkat, Periscope, Stream, talking on the radio. So comedian Guy Torrey, he hops on Periscope talking about he want to come on the show, and he got my number. Don't that kill you when people got your number and they send you an email on Facebook,
right?
Or direct message on Twitter,
or right on your Instagram post.
Right, you're like, you got my number. Really? All right. So before we went to the break, we were talking about sex, and we were talking about porn, things along those lines. And Doc, I think you're absolutely right that what happens is people get so caught up in that's what I want, but they don't even ask themselves. Like guys, they don't even ask the woman. The woman's like, well, you ain't him.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's good.
And people get so caught up, and I think the thing that people miss out on is they have to understand that sex is so personal.
Yeah.
Nobody knows everything.
Right.
And really, it is about, I need to understand. I need to know first what I like, and I need to understand what you like.
Right, and then you want those two to meet in the middle somewhere.
Yes.
You know, because.
Oh no, I don't want you to meet in the middle. I want you to know what I like, and do what I like, and I want to know what you like, and I'm gonna do what you like. I ain't no forgetting meet in the middle.
Okay, so you've never been asked to do something that you're like, yeah, I just can't do that.
I'm trying to think.
I mean, because most people, when you ask them, I mean, there are some people whose freak meters or freakometers are way up there, and really they don't have anything that they're not going to try.
And it's also
but the average person, you know, is somewhere. If the scale is 10, the average person is somewhere around 4.
Well, here's the deal. I know a woman. Well, I know several couples. I know a woman who's a swinger.
Yes.
And again, I mean, I'm in the business of asking questions.
Sure.
So inquiring minds wanted to know, and so I was asking her, a bunch of different questions.
Yeah.
I could never do that.
Mm-hmm.
I could never be in a relationship where a woman says, "Hey, let's have a threesome." No. And now here's the deal. Matter of fact, it was so funny. I had this woman once. She tell me, she said, the fantasy of every guy is to be with two women. I said, no, it's not. She said, you're lying. I said, no, it's not. I said, here's why that ain't my fantasy. First of all, I ain't trying to make you happy and make her happy.
Well, wait a minute.
I said,
I'm starting to sound lazy.
No. Because I'm focused. See? I ain't trying to sit here and then, okay, hold up, you open. No, we ain't trying to go there. No, I'm a singular brother.
Sure.
And that is you, is me.
Yeah.
Okay? I ain't trying to deal with a second attitude or whatever the heck. And this woman thought I was crazy. And I said, but I think, again, she got that from this idea of porn.
Sure.
Guys in threesomes, that's what all guys want. And I just told her straight up, I said, no. That's not my. I said that ain't my interest.
No, and that may be a great fantasy, but we have all heard terrible stories of threesomes gone wrong. The girlfriend running off with the extra girl, the boyfriend running off with the extra girl or the extra guy. So I mean, you really have to be careful about what you ask for in your relationship. If you're going to do random things that you're not going to know how it's going to pan out, you might want to do some of those random things in a safer sexual way with a random person. Because if this is someone you love and want to spend the rest of your life with, by the time you've seen them suck on somebody else, that may not be an image that you're prepared to
right.
see.
In fact, and this sister, and again, nice sister, and I'm telling you, my deal was, okay, I'm going to ask you all these questions. And they had a sex party. And I went, well, how many folks coming over? And it was about 22 people. And I went, okay, so I said, so let me help you out. I said, let me ask you a question. So if you're having a sex party, I'm just curious. Are y'all all in one room? Are you all over the house? Is it a whole deal? And what was interesting, one of the things that she said that it's not, so she said they even go to nudist places. And I said, so you down with having sex in public? She's like, yeah, no problem. I said, and so I asked her I said, well, how does that whole deal work? And she said, well, in terms of with couples, and she said a couple approach you, and the woman might say she want to be with you, and she said, well, I don't really enjoy it. That's not my thing. She said, but it's a part of the culture, and if my man and her man want to see us make out, she said, but it's not like I'm craving for that.
Sure.
And I was like, okay.
It sounds complicated, doesn't it? Not
yeah,
only does it sound complicated, but it's hard to fathom doing something sexually that you just really didn't want to do.
But it's a part of that whole deal.
Yeah.
And again, I was obviously no. I said I want to know because, again, hell, I envy people about all kind of other stuff.
Yeah.
But it's interesting, that whole deal. So when you say that's one thing I know I couldn't do.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't. If a woman said, let's invite somebody else into our bedroom, I would say no.
Yeah. Well, that's good. I mean, I think when we look at studies and we look at surveys on people who do threesomes, particularly couples who want to stay together and be together, we find that they tend to ruin more relationships than they actually help and enhance them. So for the average person who's thinking about giving that to their person for a holiday, you might want to rethink that and try something else.
One of the other things we talk about couples and doing things. So how do you deal with somebody who says he or she is adventurous and I'm not? I'm scared if we have sex on the side of the road.
Yeah.
Or I don't know about having the shades open.
Yeah.
I don't know. And so you have these couples who are struggling because he or she wants to do something adventurous and different, and they're with somebody who is very plain. Let's just get it out of the way. I don't want, look, don't turn the music on. No, I don't want to do same position.
Turn the lights off.
Right, turn the lights off. Right.
Yeah. Well, what you're talking about happens so often. I mean, that's the average couple that shows up in the sexologist's office asking for help. You have one person who wants to explore and the other person who's stuck in their sexual box. And so the first part is trying to help the person who's stuck in their box to understand how important these things are to their partner. Because ultimately what happens when you say, I'm not going to change, I'm not going to try, I'm not going to change, I'm not going to try, it's a result of you basically saying, well, it's not worth it to change or try. Why should I? So at the end of the day, it has to start with someone wanting to do better. Feeling comfortable pushing your sexual boundaries is a result of, I want to push my sexual boundaries. One, because I want something different. I want to feel different than I have these past 10 years, but also because I want to try to please my partner a little more. So if you ever get to the point with your partner as a couple that you don't want to please your partner anymore, then that's the point.
You have issues.
Yes. And that tends to be the issue. One person's like, well, I mean, I do A, B, and C, so this sex thing can take a back burner. But not understanding that sex is such an important part of a relationship that if you decide to let that go and you have one partner who really wants it, it's going to be a tug of war in every facet of your life. Because what do gentlemen tend to do? They tend to be passive aggressive about it. Oh, okay, well, you haven't given me any. You haven't given me anything all week, and then it's been all month. So it starts, they're not taking the trash out. Now they're not picking the kids up.
No.
It's just this passive aggressive.
Well, actually, I did. This is straight up. I did both. My first marriage, straight up. Here's the deal. I cook, I clean, I do all those different things. Dry cleans, all that sort of stuff. So this is no lie. So man, one day, I'm washing dishes. I'm washing dishes. And I go, damn, man, I ain't had none in about 2 or 3 weeks. The hell? And I'm sitting there, and again, I had a full-time job. She had a full-time job. I'm in a newspaper. She's, television anchor. But I'm going, hold up. And I'm looking at all the things that I'm doing. I'm looking at, and I'm like, hold up. Now, you don't need to cook. You don't need to clean. I wash. I will pick stuff up, go to dry cleaners. All you got to do, I mean, it ain't nothing else left for you to do at the crib. And hell, you ain't even doing that. I stopped washing dishes. I stopped cleaning. I stopped washing. Man, them dishes piled up for like 2 weeks. All of a sudden, fruit flies and gnats start flying around, everything. And she was like, well, what the hell's going on? I said, I asked the question I had. What the hell is going on? I said, we need to have a conversation. I said, because it's some other stuff that need to be happening that ain't happening. And I said, I got some issues.
Well, how did that go, Roland? Did you go on strike?
Hell yes, I went on strike.
Did it help?
Hold on. I'm going to tell the rest of the story when we come back. I got to go to a break. I'm telling you, I did that. But we come back, I'm going to tell you when I had that straight up conversation, too. I ain't the brother who don't communicate. This is the Roland Martin Show. Back in a moment. I ain't that brother.
No, we know that.
No idea. I was like, I'm washing dishes, and I went, the hell? There's some shit ain't happening.
You went on strike.
Straight off, like, yo, I ain't washed nothing. I washed my clothes. I washed my clothes. I washed my clothes. Her stuff was piling up. That's right. Her stuff was piling up.
Oh, that's funny.
But it's just real. I wasn't lying. I wasn't lying.
Stuck in box, dangerous words.
Y'all know I was gonna say something too when she stayed stuck in the box. I just let that one just go though. I just let it go. Put your Meerkat on your computer using Google Chrome. Okay, all right. I'm gonna try that. I'm gonna try that one. All right, cool. Yeah, I already tweeted you on.
Let's see. I'm gonna retweet it. Let's see.
So y'all understand, Doc don't have these kind of fun conversations on other shows.
Yeah, no.
I'm irregular.
I love it.
Y'all know, Doc. What do you think about swallowing? I just can't do it.
Oh yeah, swallowing is tough. We can talk about that, but you can kind of make yourself more able to swallow.
Actually,
or you can just pretend you swallow.
Doc said, "Get a spit can." Like it's tobacco. Spit camp. Somebody said, I gotta love you to swallow.
Okay, well.
Okay, is this true? I was reading a magazine, this was several years ago, and they said that if you're going to swallow, he should drink pineapple juice.
Well, that's the whole concept of pineapple juice will make it taste sweeter, make it easier.
Is that true?
Down. But I mean,
is there anything medical-wise that actually has an impact?
Yeah, because if you think about it like this, you eat asparagus, your pee smells like asparagus. You eat vitamins, your pee smells like vitamins. So pretty much what we eat does play a part.
Give his ass a gallon of pineapple juice.
He's in a diabetic coma.
This person said you got to eat and drink a lot of pineapple. Look, I'm just trying to look.
Yeah, it's citrus products.
Hey, Turkey, how y'all doing? So citrus products. Hold up. She needs to drink pineapple juice. No, she don't need to drink pineapple juice. He needs to drink pineapple juice. Y'all got to keep up. Y'all got to keep up.
Don't eat asparagus.
He said spit cam. That's some unnecessary technology.
There's someone that's going to make $1 billion off of a spit cam.
Okay, I don't care. I love that episode of Empire. Her ass hit that bib on. Oh Lord! Oh, I hollered with the bib.
Pretty good.
Oh, I hollered with the bib. We're gonna be right back on. Hold on, I'm gonna step out 30 seconds. I hollered. All right, folks, welcome back to the Roland Martin Show. Glad you could be with us. I'm chatting with Dr. Rachel from The Doctors. You can follow her on Twitter at DRRACHAEL. We're talking about all kinds of stuff, including sex. So, Doc, so this is, again, true story. I believe that a couple has to communicate when they are not happy with their sex life.
Sure, absolutely.
Now, there's a way you communicate. Now, tell me if I was wrong for doing this.
We're going on shaky grounds here, Roland.
No. You're a sexologist.
Okay. Let's see.
So I'm getting advice, and people, y'all can call in 888-669-2281, 888-669-2281.
And we'd be remiss to not mention the fact that this is an ex-wife.
Yeah, it's ex-wife.
Yes.
Oh, hell yeah, ex-wife. So there's a reason she ex-wife.
I know.
All of this, there's a reason she ex-wife. So, true story. So, having sex, and it is clear. Mm-hmm. She ain't into it. She ain't there.
Yeah.
And I said, get off me.
That's very clear.
I said, get off me.
That is very clear.
So, I rolled over. Now, mind you, this was after I had made this palette. I had candles surrounding the deal. I had music, massage, all that sort of stuff. And I was telling my don't say nothing. Don't say nothing. And the other side was say something. The other side was like, Roland, don't say nothing. Just give us some time.
And you went from that space
About
to
30 seconds later. No.
Okay.
That's what I was saying after I said get off me.
Oh, okay.
About 30 seconds later, I was like, okay. I said, that was the worst sex in the world. I said, that was horrible. I said, I need you to understand something. I ain't no regular dude. Regular dude just gonna get off. Regular dude just gonna say, let me just get mine, I move on. I said, no, that ain't how I roll. It's abundantly clear you ain't here. I said, so if you not here, I said, don't waste my time. But if you want to be here, damn it, you're going to be here. This ain't the OJ singing your body's here with me, but your mind's on the other side of town. I said, so I need to understand what the hell the problem is.
Wow.
Yeah, I did.
Now let's rewind. You're saying that you told her to get off you.
Yes,
so
because it was the body language, going through the motions. It was horrible. It was like, all right, all right, just. Now, mind you, here's what made it worse. Why I was even more ticked.
Okay,
because we were in that with a home in Dallas. She had a job in New York, and so she traveled back and forth. So it's not like. So I'm like, I'm sorry, you ain't seen me in a couple of weeks, 3 weeks. No, it was just it was mindless. It was just all right, whatever, and it was an absolute waste of my time.
Okay, so let me ask you this: did she have an attitude about something? Was this
no?
Were you guys arguing?
No, wasn't arguing.
Okay,
wasn't arguing, but it was just sort of like, you know what? I don't feel like doing this, and I wanted her to understand that I actually value my body and value intimacy, and it's not, again, a lot of guys would have been like, say, dog, I'm just gonna get mine and whatever. No, I wasn't. I mean, because to me, when you're married, when you're when that kind of relationship, it's not just, man, let's just get this thing over with. No. Let's just, and I think a lot of people make that mistake when they just go through the motions and they say it doesn't matter. It's just, let me just, okay, I'm just make them happy, fine, 3 minutes, here you go, sure. And then roll over, or I'm just going to roll over and turn TV on and go and back to watching television or something.
Yeah, people underestimate the fact that, particularly as you advance in life, when you're in your 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, as time goes by, what tends to happen is you have to be in a situation with someone sexually where they're into you back. I mean, when you're 20 and 15,
this when I was married and I was in my 20s.
You can get off at anything. You know?
No, I'm saying. But I'm saying is, I knew, for me, I have always known I'm a different kind of guy. Yeah. I got married at 24, okay? Mm-hmm. I didn't have a whole bunch of women I was sleeping with beforehand or whatever. So for me, a relationship was different. I valued the relationship. It wasn't just get off. And I just made it clear, because my deal was like, look, I got married at 24. Mm. Okay? I wasn't out there hoeing. Yeah. So I need you to understand
that I need some.
You need to be present and accounted for.
Well, then, fast forward, was she young too?
No, she was 6 years older than me.
She was 6 years older.
I even said, yo, I need to know when that older woman thing kick in. I did. No, I said, I need you to let me know. I said, because I thought the older woman got something kicked in. When that's gonna kick in? Can you please let me know when that's gonna kick in? Because I'm here. Yeah. I'm here.
Yeah. You know, and it's funny because typically, you know, we talk about women go through the sexual revolution at 35, but what I find to be more realistic is that the woman sexually, how she is when she's in her 20s, she's going to kind of be that way for the rest of her life. So if she didn't enjoy sex in her 20s, it's going to be very difficult for all of a sudden when she hits 35 for her to become a super freak. It just doesn't work.
Hold that right there.
Okay.
So, I'm speaking at this marriage conference.
Sure.
And I'm speaking to the women. Jackie's speaking to the men. So the women asking me all these questions. And so the issue of oral sex comes up. The issue of sex frequency comes up. And I go, uh-oh. Right. It's dangerous to have me at that conference. I said, were you doing it before y'all got married? And they froze. I said, hold up. Don't act like just because we in a church, you're going to sit here and lie. God know you were screwing. Right. God know what you were doing. He knew, right. He knew when you were on your knees. I went there. I said, so stop fronting like God won't know. Answer my question. And she goes, yes. I said, let me tell you how men operate. I said, and I think women are the same way. And you can tell me as a sexologist if I'm lying. If you were doing that thing before y'all got married, yes, there is an expectation you ain't gonna stop. And if you stop, that person's like, what the hell happened?
Yeah.
Dr. Sexologist, go right ahead.
No, and I think we have to take that in consideration, not just sex, but with other things too, like going out for dinner, going on dates, dressing up. You know, you still, as a couple, have to continue to date each other. And unfortunately, we do have this thing where all of a sudden we get married and our focus shifts. Okay, well now we got to build a family really quickly. We got to focus on our finances, and you forget to focus sexually on each other. And there's tons of newlyweds that come and they're like, well, we don't understand. We used to have sex all the time before we got married. Now we're married. What happened? What happened to the sex drive? Well, what happens is there's a shift in focus, and you start to forget the fact that sex was such an important part of what brought you together. So if you don't remember what brought you together, then it's hard to stay together, because now you've written sex off as something that, you know, maybe we'll do it when we have time, but it was important before, and it has to continue to stay important.
And see, and again, my whole deal was, I need you to understand, I ain't trying to go somewhere else. Yeah. And I do believe, and this is not making an excuse for anybody, but the reality is, you as a man or a woman, your actions can drive your partner elsewhere.
Absolutely, because when your partner is saying to you, we haven't had sex in a while, I want to have sex, it's not all the time about that sexual need. There's more of an emotional connection there too. Because if every time I try to have sex with you, you tell me no. You know, no, not today. I have a headache. I'm tired. If you keep saying no, what ultimately happens is your partner starts to think you're not even attracted to them anymore. So then what happens is, after a while, they stop even trying to have sex with you because they've gotten turned down so much. Now they've got a bruised ego. So what ultimately has to happen is the two of you have to continue to communicate about how important sex is, but the one person who wants sex more than the other has to continue to try. And let me tell you something, trying, this is where we run into the problem. Trying is not, oh, you want to have sex today? No. Okay. Sulk away. Trying is actually making the attempt to kiss your partner, kiss them on their neck, you know, touch them in certain places. That's a sexual effort. It's not a sexual effort to be like, you want to do it tonight? And then they say no, and you go off on your other way.
And also, just okay, reach over. All right, let me get you excited, and here we go. No, I mean, come on, you got
to be committed to the moment.
And trust me, I know somebody right now. Y'all listening to the radio show, and y'all going, man, you had sexologist Michelle Hope on last week. You got this week. What's up with you? No, I'm trying to tell y'all, I am concerned about divorced couples. I am concerned about people who are going through life who are absolutely like two passing ships in the night. I got friends of mine who, I got a friend of mine, man, bruh hit 50. He was working out. My man lost some weight. You know, other women comment on how he looked. And man, his wife, it was like he didn't even exist. And so, he frustrated. He's like, hold up, I ain't gonna be, you know, I don't know how long my stuff gonna be working. And so he's like, I ain't trying to sit here and just dry up. I'm 50.
Yeah.
And that's how it was. Hold on a second. We're going to a break. We'll take your phone calls. We come back as well with Dr. Rachel. Hit me up. I'm telling you, these people are killing. These people are. I keep telling these people, man.
It's really sad.
And when I say I got some cats, yo.
But the women don't care. You get them into the office.
Doc, I'm serious.
They're like
this woman, Doc.
I don't feel like it.
I was visiting. I'm telling you, and I saw it. I'm sitting there, and it was like just a shrug. It was just, you know, whatever. And I'm sitting, and I'm like, because see, for me, I grew up, and I saw my grandfather slap my grandmother on the butt, giving her a kiss.
Yeah.
So I saw it.
Giggling, laughing, flirting.
So I saw my parents as well. Mm-hmm. So I do the same thing. Hell, I slap my mom on the butt. Mm-hmm. Woman, what's up? I do it all the time. And so I've always seen that. And so when I'm watching a couple, I'll sit back. I'll be at somebody's house. Hell, I'm probably like you.
Right. Trying to see what's
something ain't good right here.
Mm-hmm.
And literally, and I'm watching. I'm like, damn, your ass got sweats on every day. I'm telling you.
You never take your hair down. You always have it in a scarf. I'm
I'm sitting there.
The whole idea that you want to dress for the rest of the world, but not for your husband or your person.
Right.
At home.
I'm telling
crazy.
you. And I'm just sitting there, I'm kind of like, okay. Then I was sitting there, couch. She's still on this side of the room. And I get, a lot of times we just want to sit, but I'm going, are you ever going to get up? And I'm telling you, and people think I'm crazy. People think I'm nuts, and I'm like, I'm trying to tell y'all.
Did you say anything?
Huh?
Did you say anything, or you just kind of?
Well, I won't say I make jokes, but I'll make light of it. Yeah. I mean by that is I'll say something. I did this with my brother and his wife. I mean, and I've said this. I don't care. We would. Oh my God! So we went out. We go out, and it was so funny. So we got couples date. I was like, look, ain't no damn kids here. I don't want to hear none of that bull. So we get in their car, and I'm putting on silk. I'm putting on some jam. I'm putting on some music. She's like, oh my God, what's this? I said, hey, ain't no goddamn Disney music today. Ain't gonna be no radio Disney tonight. You're gonna hear some grown ass people music, okay? And so it was like, well, you know, the kid, let me call the house. So you ain't calling nothing. Babysitter there, everybody there. That's what's gonna happen. Oh, I'm not lying. And no, she kept. I said, let me tell you what's about to happen. We about to go out. We about to have some fun. When you gonna come back, you gonna screw your husband. That's what grown people do who marry.
Right.
And I ain't say screw. I went there.
Yeah.
And my brother, she like look at me and see it. And my brother thinking, man, I'm glad he's my brother. But
they probably did.
My brother was like, yo, I ain't play. Girl, you understand? You understand? Like, you understand? I don't play that.
Obviously.
I will cut you deep. Cause I can't
relentless.
Yeah, no. I'm gonna be honest with you. Welcome back to the Rolling Body Show. I'm having way too much fun with Dr. Rachel from the Doctors.
Oh, man.
We talk about relationships. We talk about sex. We talk about couples. And I'll tell her this story. I did this with my brother. I was like, yo, when I was a couple on a date. I said, look, we ain't talking about no kids tonight. You ain't no calling. In fact, they went out to a black tie event, Rachel. Oh my God. And so I'm at the crib, and I hear this commotion in their bedroom, and their son and their daughter are getting into it with the babysitter. And the babysitter, she don't speak English, so I don't know what the hell she's saying. So they sitting here, and I'm calling my mama. I walked around. I said, what the hell going on?
Right.
I said, put the damn phone down. You ain't calling nobody. I said, both of you, get your asses out of the room. Because I've told my brother and his wife, y'all let y'all kids sleep in y'all room too much.
Yes.
I said, get the hell out. You ain't sleeping in here. No, I said, you ain't calling your parents. I said, I don't want to hear that crap. Yeah. And so, because matter of fact, I made her hang the phone up. And so, my brother's wife called back. And she's like, what happened? I said, look, everything good. All taken care of.
Absolutely.
And I told her, I said, y'all going to have a good time. You're going to come back. You're going to screw your husband. That's what grown people going to do.
Yeah.
But ain't gonna be no kids coming. They're gonna be in here when y'all come back. And she's like, well, no, they can sleep in our room. No, they can't. I said they're gonna be in their room. And I'm telling you, couples make that mistake with kids.
Well, they make that mistake, but they also use it as a crutch. What you'll find is that there's one person who secretly really enjoys the fact that the kids are in there because it removes them from their sexual responsibility because they're like, well, we can't do anything because little Johnny's in here or little Sally's sleep in the bed with us.
Jamal, you got to go.
Yeah.
Letitia,
if you
get your ass to your room.
Start out letting your kids sleep in the bed with you, it is awful. It's awfully hard to get them out of the bed with you. They should never sleep with you. I mean, after those first couple months, you realize that the baby's okay. There's no health problems there. They need their own space for two grown people to do what they're supposed to do.
You got your own bedroom.
They've got to get in there.
See, I am that. There is no filter.
None.
Uncle Roro has no filter.
None.
And I will let them know. I don't play that. And I'm telling you, I know my brother like this boy is a fool.
Well, he's known you his whole life, so he's known you were a fool since.
But seriously, I'm telling you, look, y'all, I am not a sexologist. I ain't got no degrees in human sexuality, but I don't need to go to school to understand. I can look at a couple and I know they having some issues.
Yeah.
And I know they ain't having sex.
Yep.
And I know they having some bad sex. Because you can tell. You can tell. So let me ask you, so when couples come to you,
yeah,
are you looking at how they sit?
Oh,
Are you looking at whether they touch?
Body language.
Are they turning away?
Whether they're looking at each other. Because oftentimes they'll come to the sexologist and I'll say, you know what? You guys really need to see the psychologist. You really need to seek some couples counseling.
Well, hold on. I need you to repeat that.
Here.
Instead of the sexologist, some of y'all need to see the psychologist.
Yes. Yes, absolutely. Because if you come to me as a broken couple, you guys can't get along, you can't stand the way he smells, he thinks your perfume stinks, you know, you guys are fighting at every moment. No wonder you can't have sex. Y'all don't even like each other. So you got to start from the basics and try to come up with, things that connect you back, remind you why you fell in love with each other in the first place, so that you're not just stuck out there and like, wah, 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 wah. Because you can't go to the sexologist with major couple problems like that.
Okay, so on that particular point then, okay, so then what does then a sexologist do? If you're saying some of these people need a psychologist,
yeah.
Okay, so why should somebody, and I told y'all I'm going to ask this question, why should somebody go see a sexologist?
Sure. Sexologist is someone you go see when it's just straight sex problems. Perhaps you guys have maybe tried something that didn't work out. You want to try it again. You need some direction as to how this could take place. You have couples who come in. One person wants to try anal, the other person doesn't. She's scared of it. You know, we can give direction and guidance for that. Particularly, maybe even if you're dealing with issues of comfort. You know, you're just not comfortable around each other. Maybe your partner doesn't touch you the way you want them to. So all of these types of things. If you guys have gotten to the point where you just tried to kill each other 2 weeks ago, the sexologist's office is the last place in America, in the world, that you need to be at that particular moment. So that kind of gives you a guideline as to where you need to be in terms of things. If your partner's clinically depressed, you know, that's something that needs to be worked through with the psychologist, your family doctor, your psychiatrist. So, you know, we have to keep in mind that there's a lot of underlying health reasons that sex can go bad. There could be mental health issues. Mm-hmm. He could have trouble with his prostate. That might be why the erectile issues are coming in. So, you know, being a family medicine physician along with the sexologist actually gives me the opportunity that if it is a sex drive issue, or if it's an erection issue, or if it's a lubrication issue, we can actually explore that from a hormonal point of view, a medical point of view, and also from the psychological point of view. So it's kind
Folks,
of
we're
nice.
Talking to Dr. Rachel. Of course, you see her as one of the co-hosts on The Doctors. The number to call is 888-669-2281, 888-669-2281. I'm going to go to the phone lines right now. I got to call up Fred from Texas. Fred from Texas is on the phone line. Fred's got a question. Go, Fred.
I got a question for the sexologist. I guess that's what she is.
My name is Dr. Rachel Ross.
Dr. Rachel Ross. Yes, go ahead.
All right. Yeah, I've been knowing this girl for about a year. We just started dating seriously, like in the last few months. And she's like real. She looks real good, nice body and everything. But for some reason, when we get ready to have sex, it's like 70% of the time, I can't get aroused. And I'm just, I know it's meant for my ego as well as hers. And I just can't for the life of me understand what the problem is. Because he looks good a lot and everything, but for some reason, my buddy just don't want to act right.
So now, let me ask you this. Is she the only person you're trying to have sex with right now? Or you have someone else in your life?
Actually, what happened was, she was the only one, but then when it happened, I kind of had to fall back and see if that happened with somebody else, and it didn't. So I was like, what? It just like, it only happens with her.
Okay, so what you did is originally when it happened with her, what you should have done is just try to focus on, working things out with her. But what you did is you decided, well, let me go try this thing out on someone else. And so when it started working with someone else, now what you've decided, and you've planted it in your head, that it's something just with her. So what you have to keep in mind is, as a man, every now and then, your penis isn't going to work the way you thought it was going to when it happens. But if you take it one step further, and now what you've done is you've made it into a condition with just her. So what you did is you went sampled someone else. Oh, it didn't happen with her, so it must just be my relationship with her. So let me tell you what you're doing now. So now what you're doing, that feeling, that saying blocking your blessings, you're kind of blocking your blessings with her because your brain has started to think you can't have sex successfully with her. So now before you even start, you're thinking, oh, it's not going to work today with her. I don't even want to try it. So what you have to do is go back to the beginning, kind of rewind in time, and try to take things back to when you guys first met and first started to become intimate, and erase the history of it not working with you. Because there's nothing stopping the two of you from having great sex other than now your brain, because your brain does control your penis. Now your brain is telling you, here she comes again. It's not going to work. And what may happen? That may be the woman you're destined to be with. And now all of a sudden you've planted in your brain the fact that your penis isn't going to work with her. So what I would suggest to you is rewind. Spend about a week with her where you're not going to try to have sex with her at all, but you spend time focusing on foreplay and touching each other and pleasing each other and smiling and connecting and holding hands and touching her places, to the point where even when you guys touch and you're very stimulated and turned on, don't try to have sex with her. Don't try to penetrate. Then after a week of doing that and reconnecting and feeling each other and connecting sexually without intercourse, then a week later your self-esteem has gotten back up and you start to feel like you can connect sexually with her, and that's when you guys should start back having sex. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense because that's what be happening. Like when she'll come over, it's like my mind is like, oh man, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? It's like automatic in my head, when it might not. To the point where sometimes I just get discouraged and don't even try.
Right. So now you have to remove it.
I know just like it hurts my self-esteem, it hurt her.
Yes, and see, now what you have to do is remove the pressure from the situation. So if the two of you are hanging out and you've told her, you know what, honey, we're not going to have sex for a whole week. We're just going to hang out and get to know each other and touch and kiss and make out and do all those things, but we're not going to have sex for a week because we have to erase all those bad feelings and thoughts that we had about sex. So then what happens is you guys stop thinking about that each time. If a week goes by and you haven't tried to have sex, then what happens is your brain starts to say, well, we can do this. I got this. This is going to be wonderful. And then it removes the pressure, and then the two of you will be able to try it again.
Fred, thank you so
Thanks, Fred.
Fred, thank you so very much. Folks, give us a call, 888-669-2281, 888-669-2281. You know y'all got some questions for Dr. Rachel. Go ahead, ask. Don't be scared. Don't be scared. This is the Roland Martin Show. Back in a moment. That's it. That's all. Fred ain't fooling nobody. You right. Fred went with another woman, and he was visualizing her.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Yeah, no, this ain't working."
Yeah, and as you start to become a grown man, it's much harder for you to just balance a few sexual partners. One is going to always take the back burner. You got to pick one and focus on her, or else you spreading yourself too thin.
So you this all weekend? What you doing?
I am. You know what? One of my friends is having a birthday, so we all kind of came to D.C. to do like a little birthday thing.
Okay.
And we're gonna do, we're gonna do some monuments, like do a walking tour this evening.
Hell, the weather is. This weather been. You don't understand. I can't deal with this cold. Let me tell you something. When I left Chicago, when Jackie left City Colleges, we were about to move back to Texas and go to South Florida. I was like, I need sun.
You said the sun. You said that weather was killing.
I got a homeboy of mine who moved down to Palm Beach, and he told me, he said, dude, I will never, ever, ever live in cold weather again. He said, this was all by design and choice.
Yeah.
He said, I will not do it.
I found myself wondering, why do we torture ourselves like that? Well, why do we just decide to live in conditions like that? We have to shovel snow. You're cold.
I can answer that. It's easy. I think what happened, it's the same reason we don't leave a church. I think for a lot of us, we are afraid to make that choice. We've gotten accustomed to it. So it's like, you know what, I'm just going to go ahead and stay here. Versus this whole idea of quality of life. I don't think first of all, I think for a lot of us, we don't have the financial wherewithal to make a quality of life move. That's first. But it's interesting you say that, because I think too. I just saw a story. Somebody wrote a piece in the Wall Street Journal the other day where they said, if you're poor and you're in Baltimore, why you should move to the South? Because they talked about cost of living. They talked about all those different things. Everything. And I know some people who sold their homes, who lived in D.C. or New York, whatever, and they moved down south. Matter of fact, a homeboy of mine moved, took a job at Birmingham, and he said, "Why in the hell you didn't tell me about this years ago?" I said, "Fool, I did."
Like you were trying to keep. But
she was so in love with New York, and he was like, "Dude," he said, "this is crazy."
New Yorkers are the first people that if they have an opportunity to move, they'll complain about it and complain about it for a little bit, and then say, "I'll never go back to New York City." They're like over it.
It's the craziest thing in the world. Craziest thing in the world. Take a fork. So while you gonna be talking, I'm gonna eat water.
You said that.
Cause I didn't eat.
Let's see.
See, y'all, I can tell Doc miss radio because it's different. It's free. Hey, folks, welcome back to the Roland Martin Show. See, can't y'all tell Dr. Rachel miss radio?
Oh, you a man.
It is
so much.
It is so different. It's so unique. Welcome back. Hey, any questions y'all got? Meerkat, Twitter, Stream, Google Hangout, listening as well, TuneIn Radio app. Give me a call. You can tweet it. You can put it on Facebook, or you can actually just send it to us via one of these platforms, and we'll ask the questions right now. All right. Oh, very good one, Lisa Jack 216-71472. She says, "I need Dr. Rachel." Let's see what kind of skills she got. I need Dr. Rachel to define intimacy.
Good question. You know, intimacy is such a broad word, but really all intimacy means is connecting in an intimate way, okay, which basically is kissing, eye contact, hugging, rubbing, giving each other massages, touching. Even intimacy can even be taking it one step further in outer course, touching his penis, touching her vagina. You know, intimacy doesn't have to be sex related, but it can be. It's hugging. It's a kiss good morning. It's a kiss goodbye. It's just taking your partner and communicating to them in a physical way that I love you, I'm attracted to you, I care about you, and as a result of it, I'm touching you, smiling at you, all of those things.
Hey, comedian Michael Collier is on Periscope. He said he's loving this conversation. He said, "I love outer course." Wow. Now, so on that point, I want you to speak to this. I was at a pastor, and it was during his sermon. He said, "I make love to my wife 24 hours a day." And people in the church were like, "What in the world?" He said, "For me, making love to my wife is not a nudge in the bed." He said, "Making love to my wife means I wake up and how I greet her." He said, "How I tell her, give her a kiss and a hug goodbye."
Yeah.
he said, how I text her, this was when he had pages. He said, I might send her a page throughout the day, baby, how you doing? Mm-hmm. I'll ask, do you need me to pick up something on the way home? He said, when I come home, and Steve Farr wrote this in his book, Point Man. He witnessed a guy at the airport bypass his kids to go hug and kiss his wife first. This pastor said, I don't greet my kids first. I greet her first. Then I greet my kids. I'll ask about how her day went. Then I will get the mail or do something else, get something to drink. He said, if you do all of that, if you make love to your wife all day, he said, that changes what happens when you're now in the bed.
Sure. Either that or she starts to think you're a chump and you're too nice to her.
She not just straight destroyed the story.
I'm sorry.
And that's what, and so his deal was, you have to be cognizant. And because I had a homeboy of mine who we were playing golf. We had a golf tournament. He's like, man, damn, my wife is just driving me crazy with all these texts. I said, bro, chill.
Yeah.
That's your wife's way of saying, I miss you, I love you.
Yeah.
I said, now, if you get the stalker status, where you at? What you doing? What's taking so long? That's a different conversation. But I needed him to understand that. I said, bruh, you cannot take away how your wife is communicating intimacy, because if you object, then what you're doing is you're saying, I'm rejecting you.
No, you're right. You've hit on one of the main reasons a lot of couples end up in separate
Told
points.
y'all, I'm not a sexologist. But I know about sex. Go on, Doc.
No, you're right. End up at two totally different points, because ultimately what ends up happening is, some people call them love languages. You call it the way of communicating. You have to understand how your partner feels loved, and then at the same time, you have to make sure your partner understands how you feel loved. So if you're the type of person that the main way you feel loved is when you get fed, if somebody cooks for you or gives you something or does something nice for you, organizes your laundry, and your partner never does that for you, it's just a matter of time before you start to feel like something's missing in the relationship. You won't be able to put your finger on it. Now, if you are that type of person who understands how you personally experience love and experience comfort and experience those types of things, then you owe it to yourself and your partner to communicate and be very clear about it. When you do A, B, and C, I feel so good, and the person isn't even going to understand it. When you kiss me in the morning, it makes me feel so good, and when you don't say good morning to me, it makes me feel so bad. It's not going to make any sense to you. You're going to be like, come on, is it that big of a deal?
Oh, right. And for instance, I told my nieces, when I walk in the house, your ass gonna hug me. I don't give a damn what you doing. You get your ass up and you gonna come hug me. And when we were living in Chicago, I remember walking to the house, and my niece Anna got up. Hey, Uncle Roro, come give me a hug. And her sister Atlantis, she go, hey, Uncle Roro, but she's still sitting on the couch on her phone. And I froze. But I ain't say nothing. And she's sitting right there, and I'm going, so I snatched the phone out of her hand.
Did someone get arrested?
She goes, what? I said, better get your little ass up and give me a hug.
Very cool.
And she's like, I said, who paid for that phone? Who paid for the Wi-Fi you're using?
Oops.
Who paid for the plane ticket for you to fly here? Who paid for the limo ride that picked you up at the airport that brought you to my apartment? I said, you, because see, here's why I did that. Because I'm trying to teach them intimacy. I'm trying to teach them, and probably at that time, they were probably 10 and 12. Also, their mom was in an abusive marriage. That's why they came to live with me. So my deal is, I am going to teach you, one, how a man is supposed to act towards his wife, towards children. But I need to teach you intimacy where you don't take that for granted. So when you have a boyfriend, when you have a husband, you have been trained about intimacy, and you just don't say, well, I'm just busy doing what I do. I don't need to sit here and greet you.
No, that's an invaluable lesson, because ultimately what happens is it may not bother you, so you don't understand it. But what you're saying to someone, particularly someone who comes from a household where intimacy is a big part of life, when someone says, what'd you just say, or doesn't give you a hug when you walk through the door, doesn't even acknowledge you, to someone who came from a household where that type of thing was unheard of, it's disrespectful. It almost says, I don't like you, I don't care about you. So really understanding what types of things are important for you and your partner really kind of helps things move smoothly. So if every morning you wake somebody up with the elbow, get up, and they say, well, look, I want to be woken. When you wake me up in a kind way. Give me a kiss or something. What they're saying
or wake me up some other way.
Yeah, wake me up some other way. What they're saying is the first thing in the morning is such an important part of intimacy, an important part of how your day is going to start. So if you don't spend any energy investing in your partner and letting them know how you feel about them first thing in the morning, well, eventually days go on, weeks go on, months go on, and you guys are in this weird space. Whereas if you'd have just taken the time to be in intimate moments and have caring moments with each other, you might not be that.
See, now I'm about to really stump Doc. Okay, I'm going to go to a break. When we come back, I'm going to need you to explain to people what is the process that you have to go through to fully understand what you need and not what you want.
Good question.
I need y'all to follow me here. What's the process where you determine this is what I need sexually, what I need when it comes to intimacy, and not what I want? Let's see how she gonna answer that question. I'm kicking it with Dr. Rachel right here on the Roland Martin Show. You can give us a call with your questions, 888-669-2281, 888-669-2281. I'll be back in a moment. Yeah, let's put that degree. Let's put that degree to work. Well, I got a good story. I got a good story too.
Okay, good.
Tell you, I watch this nonsense, man. Did you watch Grey's Anatomy?
I've never been a Grey's Anatomy person.
A doctor not liking a medical show. Where they had an episode where Richard was in love with the Debbie Allen character. And Richard was going to propose to her in a restaurant.
Okay.
She stopped him. What are you doing? It was all kind of stuff. He was pissed. He's like, this is what and he said, what I wanted to do, I want to have roses, and I want to have a band. I want to have all. I know you going to object from the whole deal. So eventually they didn't get engaged, and so they were all talking. The women said, but what you don't understand is he wants to do that. You rejected it, and that in turn slammed him You need to learn how to let that person do what they do, damn it, whether you like it or not. And so what ended up happening was, they went to the hospital and she had like the whole staircase lined with roses. And then so she asked him to marry her. And so he was like, woman by damn time. But the whole point of it was that was his thing. And so she was always trying to be in control.
Yeah.
Always trying, no, I don't need that, I don't need that. And it was like, no, you gotta let a person do what they do.
That's exactly right. You gotta let a person do what they
do. It was a hell of a scene.
Huh.
So I pick up on this stuff watching all the time.
Yeah, one of your producers was like, I don't know how he manages to watch everything he watches.
They don't understand. It's all... One, you can multitask when doing it, but also you gotta learn how to get away.
Obviously, you are the king of multitasking.
Yeah, I do a little multitasking.
Yeah, obviously.
Little.
This whole phone call thing, it's got me.
Right. So okay. So here's the deal.
Where's your feed?
I could have right there.
Your feed's coming in.
I could have given you some headphones, but the problem is they can't hear.
Ah, right.
And so I needed the speaker. What about the older woman thing? Okay. Okay. What else are they saying? So yeah. So that's why I was potting our microphones down, so they can hear the show, hear the caller via the speaker. Because I can't run.
Putting it in mix.
Yeah. So what I have is no. I'm going audio out of the headphone jack into the speaker.
Audio out of the headphone jack into the speaker.
Now, but I do have
to amplify the sound.
There you go.
Then the people who are streaming can hear it.
There you go. So they can hear the caller.
Got it.
Because I can't run a line into each one of the devices, so there you go.
Smart. I love it.
Welcome back to the Roland Martin Show. Glad you're here. I'm talking with Dr. Rachel. We're talking about sex and relationships and people and all that good stuff. You can give us a call, 888-669-2281, 888-669-2281. And we talked about a lot of stuff. We covered a lot of ground. And one of the things that I think, so I asked before the break, for you, what is the process? And I have my own idea, but I want to get it from you. The process that a person needs to go through to understand what really is a need sex-wise, what is a need intimacy-wise, as opposed to a want.
This is a really complicated question, and I think it's something that people really struggle with, whether they've ever asked themselves this or not. And I think this is the same thing people are asking when they ask me, and you said that someone asked you this at a married couples conference. They ask you, well, how much sex should we be having? How much is the norm? What is the good amount? And I think when it comes to sexual needs versus sexual wants, you have to really sit back and ask yourself, what am I okay with not having? Because there's nobody in the universe who has all their sexual needs met or their intimacy needs met all the time.
Right.
And it starts as kids. As kids, we learn how to deal with disappointment. We learn how to adjust. We learn how to compromise. And in order to be in a working relationship, you have to figure out your version of compromise. And that's where you come into what is a want versus what are my needs. So a need, to me, and a need is very specific. A need is something that you cannot live without. You can't function without.
Right.
You go to work, you're not focused on your things that you need to do. You are scatterbrained because this need isn't being met. That is a need. A want is, I want to have sex more. I would love if they went down on me more. I would love these things. But is it really affecting my day-to-day life if I don't have this need in my life? That's the difference between a need and a want. And I find that couples, if one person is sex-starved, it has become a need. They need it. Now they're irritable. They don't like their partner anymore. They hate the sight of them. Now they get to work and they don't have the same self-esteem that they used to have to command the attention. Now that is where your sexual wants are actually sexual needs at that point.
Now, here's how I see this. I believe everybody should do what I call a personal self-assessment. And what happens is we only typically do a personal self-assessment when we have gone through a traumatic life experience. And that is, we might have a near-death experience. We might lose someone to death. We might get fired. We might get divorced. Typically, it is a traumatic experience. And so what happens is a self-assessment, yes, it comes to in all aspects of our lives. What's a want and what's a need? So let me deal with the issue and when I mean by self-assessment, it really means going to a quiet space, turn the TV off, turn the music off, and being as honest as you can about who you are. But the thing about a self-assessment is personal and it's painful because you have to ask questions like, why am I an introvert? Why am I an extrovert? Why do I like to drink? Why is it I don't like to drink?
It's like psychoanalysis.
Why is it that I don't like fake breasts? I like natural. Right. Why do I? So you start going through this whole deal. And the whole point of this is to get you to a place where you say that there are pillars in my life that regardless of anything, I need to have this. And so, which also applies to your relationship. So, how's that tied to this whole issue of sex and intimacy? Because of who I am and what I've seen, been exposed to, I know what I need in a woman. So, after I got divorced, I'm dating this woman, and we're talking, and so she says that with her previous boyfriend, after they would have sex, that they would just sort of retreat to their own side. They would retreat to their own sides of the bed.
Okay.
The moment she said that, great woman, gorgeous woman, but the moment she said that, I can't be with her.
Why?
Because I value and need intimacy.
Now, do you think that she could have learned?
No.
Or she could have felt that? Or maybe that was him that wanted to go to the other side of the bed?
Nope, because that was her.
Oh, she said.
Because that's why I say a personal self-assessment. You have to know what kind of person you are. I was the season finale of Being Mary Jane. You saw Being Mary Jane?
Yeah.
Saw season finale.
Yes.
Gary Dordain. He didn't like the shoes being there. He didn't like the toothbrush. It's like, this is who I am. She wanted marriage. She wanted kids. He's cool with having your crib, my crib. I'm setting my ways. And then when he tried to call her later, it was like, no, it's not going to work because you are who you are. And I'm who I am. Yeah. So I knew that for her, she was not that kind of person. And that was going to be a struggle because I was not going to be in a fight, in a battle where back up. I don't no cutlet, or I don't like. Look, I ain't down with the hand holding or all. Cause see, I ain't even going down that path because I'm not gonna try to force a round peg in a square hole because I know it's not going to work. I know that there's something that I fundamentally believe that's a pillar that she cannot give, and so I can say, oh man, 90% of this is great. But if I know that that's a fundamental issue, and that's what, but you only
your top.
But you only arrive at that point when you really ask yourself, what is a need? What is really a need? And so, and somebody is listening and they're watching, they're thinking, well, man, that's being needy. No, it's not. It's not being needy, but it's understanding who you are. That's what I'm saying. For me, I can't understand being in a relationship where you're not laying on me, or we're not hugging, or we're not cuddling, or we're not, or where you're like, hold up, I'm trying to stroke the back of your head, or I'm trying, right, and you freaking all out. Because now, I got to figure out, well, okay, what kind of, what should like it, what should not, I mean, what's okay, what can I do, whatever. And so now I can't do me.
Yeah. So
if I can't do me, and then you can't do what I know is a need, I know right then, this ain't gonna work.
Well, yeah, I'm glad you said this, but we have a whole group of people who are listening that need to understand that, 5 needs, yes. 20 needs, no. If you've been single,
that's why I said
and
pillars.
You can't find anybody.
That's what I said, pillars. I mean, a pillar, okay, let me help you out. A pillar. When you have a house, you typically you got like 4 pillars. Right. I mean, it's like, I need to have, now if you want to throw in an extra 6, I mean, that's like going overboard. But when you're building something is constructed on, pillar ain't a pebble. A pillar is, like, if one of those pillars is missing, that house can't stand up.
That's right.
That's my whole, right.
Yes, I'm glad you cleared that up.
But the 20, that's by 15 once.
Yes.
That ain't pillars.
Yes. That's when you got all these excuses for why you're single and why you haven't had anybody. You got this long list of things that people have to have. Those are not pillars.
No.
What Roland's talking about are those 4 or 5 core things that you really have to have in a partner in order for you guys to mesh, in order for you guys to be together as a couple. So I'm really glad that you said that, because it's tough. If it's very important, if intimacy is very important to you, and that person doesn't like to hug, doesn't like to kiss, and doesn't like to have sex, well, I mean, is this really your soul?
Y'all gonna have problems. Right. I'm saying, and and look, the money may be right, everything it may look great, but that is going to be a fundamental problem in your relationship, and I'm telling you, you are asking for trouble if you keep. And it's like, well, no, and that's why when you ask, do you think she could have learned? Possibly.
But did you want to teach her?
You know what? I don't even know a question of teaching. Did I even want to go down the path where that may not be a possibility? And I just think that there are some things that are so deeply embedded in our DNA that's who. And I guess if I could give an example, I remember again being in a relationship. Hell, first marriage, and it was like, well, go places. You always, it's like you talking and you just said. So it was driving her crazy. So all right, cool. So next time I'm around her friends, I ain't say nothing. I ain't say nothing. Huh. Then it was like, well, they call you the black hole tonight because you wasn't saying nothing. I said, hold on, I need to make up your damn mind.
Hello.
But here was the other piece. That ain't me. Self-assessment says, am I gregarious or not?
Right.
Am I an introvert or not? Do I like to dance or not?
Right.
And so when you try to alter, that's just not who you are.
No.
And that's why you got to have that assessment. I got to go to a break. Okay. You got to comment on that thing. Yeah. But I really want to flesh this out further because I think a lot of people are stuck right here on the Roland Martin Show.
That's good.
I'm telling you, it was. I never forget. It was. She was like, and I'm going. I said, baby, you understand something? I speak to everybody. Mm-hmm. Right. If I walk in, I'm gonna speak. That ain't you trying to be the man. No, it's shit. I just speak to people.
Yep.
And it was like a problem.
And then when you have a person who nitpicks at little things that are at the core of who you are as a person.
Let me write this now because I remember this point. I remember this point. No, I remember. And I remember. See, I tell you right there. I'm used to typing it in.
Yeah.
But all my stuff is being used.
All of your things.
Yeah, all my stuff being used. I'm gonna remember the point because I want us to deal with it because again. See, to me, all of these things, this goes back to the intimacy thing. All of these things, all has a direct relationship on what happens in that bedroom.
All of it. All of it.
Because if you catching all that hell and all that damn drama, you got to the room, shit, you ain't trying to go to bed.
Well, and then
I'm just gonna stay and watch TV. I'm just gonna stay.
Yeah.
And I'm saying, I think a lot of people don't understand that. You all that damn drama in hell before, like, I ain't trying to be with you.
Right.
It's been driving me crazy all day.
Right. Yeah, no, and I think people think that men are just sex machines that aren't affected by those types of things, and men are just as affected by it as women are.
I mean, a lot of guys don't want to talk about it. Maybe, I got a hell of a lot of my mama.
Yeah.
Whereas I ain't gonna be one of them dudes. Cause I ain't I'm sorry. Damn, going through life mad as hell.
Yeah.
And frustrated.
Life's so too short for that.
You gonna shut this sucker down?
Yeah.
This ain't.
How long did you stay married to that lady?
6 years. I knew. There's something. I've always had a discerning spirit, and I remember when she got promoted, and so did I. And I told her, I said, our life is about to change. I said, that's first. We're about to be busy. I said, so let me be clear to you. I said, I'm going to chill the next 3 to 4 months because we're going to have to adjust to this new schedule. I said, but our circle has to get smaller because what's about to happen. I said, and we cannot allow other folk to come into this circle to affect what happens here. Mm-hmm. I said, so I'm going to give all the space, whatever. But I called it. At every point, I called it. And I kept saying, I remember when she got the job in New York. I said, she told me, why aren't you happy? I got this offer. I said, because we about to pack a bunch of baggage and bring that shit to New York.
You meant literally.
I said, and a job somewhere else don't change what hasn't been dealt with.
No, that's right.
Oh, I'm talking about, so I knew it the whole time. Folks, welcome back to the Roland Martin Show. We've been having a great conversation with Dr. Rachel all day. Enlightening, inspiring, talking about sex, relationships, all kind of stuff. You can follow her on Twitter at Dr. Rachel, DrRachael. See her every single day on the syndicated daytime show, The Doctors. And certainly it's great to have her here. So we were talking about these pillars. These pillars. And I'm so focused on that because I think what happens, Doc, and you might see this in your practice, that when you don't know what those are, it is going to manifest itself. It's going to show up in the bedroom, and all that drama. That's why I think when you say y'all might need a psychologist versus a sexologist, because if you don't understand even what that is, then you can figure out, man, why is there a disconnect here?
Oh, absolutely. You hit it on the head, and I think people underestimate. Men have this stereotype of being sex machines. If the relationship isn't going well, if you don't feel loved and cared about, you're not really ever going to want to have sex with that person. You're just not. We see it play out on television shows. I mean, you see it on Power. You see it on different things. But in real life, it happens too. Mm-hmm. If you don't feel like your person cares about you and that you don't feel connected to them, you're not going to want to have sex with them. I don't care how sexy they are, how gorgeous they are. If that's not there, that piece isn't there, then there's no sexual intimacy or connection that can be had.
I talked about doing you and just knowing who you are. And what happens is that when you try to alter who someone is, then what happens is they are now conforming themselves to you. But you've now removed them from who they are. And so now really you have this foreign being who now is in a totally uncomfortable space because they can't do who they are.
That's right. You've stuffed them into a little jar that you want them to be in, and they've adapted to that, and you know what's going to happen? They're going to bust out of that jar, and their true personality is bound to pop up at some point. And so now you have two people who never really got along to begin with, but it was hidden behind the fact that someone is muting a part of their personality in order to fit into your box that you want them in. So if you have a person that everything they do kind of gets on the nerves, you want to change this, you want to change that, you want to change that, don't believe Cosmo, don't believe all these magazines that tell you that you could change these things about the person. You shouldn't be in the process or in the habit of wanting to change somebody. Either you can deal with how they are or not, because no matter what little changes they make for you, and what they're wearing for you and what they're saying for you, that real person is still hiding there, and it's going to come out, and that's going to be the moment you guys realize, we don't really get along. Well, no, you never did. It was all been fake.
Now, check this one out.
Mm-hmm.
I mentioned it briefly when we were talking about something else. When I talk about the circle, I remember having a conversation. My friends say this, and I snapped. CC, no. I snapped verbally. I said, what the hell? CC, they were right. And I'll never forget. I remember walking to the bathroom, calming down, and walking right back out. And I said, I'm going to deal with your friends in a minute. But here's the question I have. I need to know, how did you allow the space to be created to where your friends could talk negatively about me to you?
That's a tough one.
Because
why do they feel comfortable talking mess about me to you?
Because you allowed the space to be created. So when I talk about this idea of circle of one,
mm-hmm.
I had a friend of mine who hit me up when I got divorced. She's like, man, I couldn't stand your wife. She said, but I would have never said a word. She said, because I knew, had I spoke negatively about your wife, you would have cut the friendship off. And I said, you are precisely right.
Yep.
Because I don't believe you create the space to where people can get inside of your circle of one, because that has a traumatic effect on the relationship, and you are letting somebody external get inside your space to mess up what's happening.
Absolutely. And we can always talk about celebrities, and everyone's always like, why are they so private with their relationships? Why don't they want to put stuff like Beyonce and Jay-Z, for example? But when you really look at people who are private about their relationships and don't go giving all the information to their friends and listening to what their friends are saying, they have healthier relationships. They trust each other. They care about each other. Both partners know that the other one has my back regardless. The other person knows that they're not over there telling all of the family business and messing things up. Because here's the problem with other people being in your business like that. The minute you think something is really strong, now all of a sudden you've got these voices in your heads telling you otherwise. And as strong as the individual may be, when you have friends and family members and loved ones talking bad about your person, it's just a matter of time before you start to feel that exact same way about them.
And you fall right into that trap.
Fall right into the trap.
You have that conversation, and all of a sudden, it messes all kind of stuff up.
And you're as single as they are.
Right. So all your single friends running their mouth, and not one time you go, now hold up, you about 47, you still single. Because it's real, folks. Give me a call, 888-669-2281, 888-669-2281. If you have any questions for Dr. Rachel, you give us a call, 888-669-2281. On that same point, on that same vein, the reason I think is interesting. You mentioned Hollywood. You have never seen a photo spread of the husband or the children of Meryl Streep.
Never.
Because Meryl Streep said, you talk to me about the movie, Meryl Streep has never done a spread talking about raising her kids. What? No. 1999, I'm at the Union Journalists of Color Convention in Seattle, and Halle Berry is on this panel. Antonio Mora was the moderator. And so Halle was talking about, and Halle, beautiful sister, know her well, email her back and forth, great person. But on this one, Halle was dead wrong. And I believe Halle Berry has consistently made a mistake. Halle says on this panel, and this applies to any of us in our relationships. She says, when I do these junkets, folks always want to ask me about my divorce, and so she starts talking about how she gets tired of the question and she wish they wouldn't ask the question. And I said, well, and now I'm in the back of the room, I'm in the panel. I said, well, stop running your damn mouth.
Oh.
That's what I'm thinking. If I was on the panel, I would have said the same thing.
Oh, I see.
No, I would have. And if Halle and I have a real conversation, I would tell her. I would say, Halle, shut the hell up.
Yeah.
Because that's why I thought she was dead wrong writing that piece in Essence magazine about Eric Benet's sexual addiction. She was dead wrong. Yeah. Because the moment you allow the public, friends, into your personal business, your personal space, you don't get the right now to flip the switch and turn it off.
Nope. It's out there.
It's out there.
The floodgates are open.
So what you have to do is, you have to make a decision. Hold up. Ain't your business.
Right. And you make that from the start, and you stick to it. Yep.
Because otherwise, you got issues.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you are going to have problems. Otherwise, you are going to be you'll be constantly battling this. And I just think you have to make it clear. We ain't discussing that.
Right.
Yeah, but you're not.
Yep.
Let me be clear. We're not discussing, my man.
Yeah. And keep it moving.
We ain't discussing my woman. And Cass will say, and I'm telling you, and I really believe a lot of women have got to learn how to shut that thing down.
You got to learn not to tell your business to everybody who's willing to listen to it, because misery loves company. So you'll start noticing that the stuff that you're actually saying gets worse and more dramatic.
Right.
And you're actually creating a lot of that.
And company don't mind your man when you build up enough misery. Oh, I've seen that happen.
Yep.
I've seen that happen. And it's like, what? It's like, well, you did say for a long while he was a good man. It was
right.
You're like, you did say that. Look, I'm going to a break. I got this question from Ann Jenkins. Who was this? Was it Ann? Somebody wants to know, I need some books to read, Dr. Rachel.
Oh, some books.
You are going to have to recommend me some books for me to read so I can get my learn on. So when we come back, Dr. Rachel, sexpert, sexologist, got real papers. She's real. She's going to give y'all some books, some information that can help you when it comes to sex, when it comes to relationships. And let's see what books she got compared to books I got. Mm-hmm. This is
challenge.
Come on. Let's see what you got. This is the Roland Martin Show. Back in a moment. Books.
Good thing. It's good to know people still read them.
Oh. You know, I cannot listen to a book on tape.
Oh, you can't do audiobooks.
I can't. I actually have to. I have to read them.
Oh.
And see, I process. I remember a ton of stuff. I can't. I can listen to speeches. I can listen to sermons. But when it comes to that level of information, I gotta read. I can't. And it took me a long time to be down with Kindle.
Oh, well, you know, there's nothing like turning those pages.
That's what I'm saying. It took me a long time to be with the Kindle.
Nothing.
All right, let me see what they're saying on Meerkat. Let me see what y'all. There's a nice thing to say. You do realize that we, like Dr. Rachel or Roland's guest, your comment is inappropriate. Okay. What was said? Y'all know I will block a fool in a heartbeat. Oh, I'll block a cat. D Trucking, what's up? Eye contact, undivided attention is so important in a relationship. Awesome conversation. Have y'all ever heard of the 7-day sex challenge? Me and my wife did it. It was amazing. What's the 7-day sex challenge? Having sex every day?
Uh-huh.
Oh, hell yeah, we done tried that. Like, yeah.
It's like, yeah.
Yeah, we done tried that, yeah.
We do that. Every day for
Yeah, whatever. My question is, what is your advice on the lack thereof of wanting sex due to the confidence of your body after kids? When he thinks you're sexy, but you don't feel it. Ooh, that's a good one. Okay, I'm going to have to ask you that one. That's a good one. Doc, are you married? There's somebody's question for you, Doc.
Oh, no, I'm not married.
They said, I see the ring on your hand. She said she bought it.
I'm in a committed relationship, and I'm not
Doc
very
says,
far from single.
Doc says she's in a committed relationship, she's far from single, and she's far from marriage.
I didn't say far from marriage. I said.
She said, look ahead, look ahead, look ahead. So we got, how many people we got over here? Hang out. I got people over here. All right. I'm telling you, it's a hell of a conversation. Y'all learning some stuff, huh?
Let's see. Can you see how many people?
Fox, Jessica, what you got? Yeah. They really haven't started marketing streams, so they have. We got 17. We got 17 people here. So we got 1,145 people here. 66 here now. And then you've got Periscope. You've got about, it ebbs and flows. It was like up 67. Now you got about 43. But you've had a number of different people in here. Okay.
Did stream?
Hey folks, Hey folks, welcome back to the Roland Martin Show. Glad to be here. Here's a question from a Meerkat follower. Let me find it. Okay. It was dealing with your body, sex after pregnancy. It actually was a very good question. Very good question. And the question was, okay, from Fox Jessica F. My question is, what is your advice on the lack thereof of wanting to have sex due to the confidence of your body after kids? He thinks you're sexy, but you don't feel it. Dr. Rachel.
Yeah, that's such a good question and something so many people face. I think you have to feel sexy by yourself before you can ever feel sexy with someone else. So you're going to have to get in touch with how you can start to feel more comfortable with your body.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, if you don't exercise every day, or at least 5 days a week, and you're not comfortable with your body, then the first thing you got to do is really start exercising. Because anyone who's ever exercised for more than 3 weeks at a time will tell you that after that second week, you start to look in the mirror, and everything just starts to look like it's just all falling in place all of a sudden. And it's not, because, a week has only gone by. But what exercising actually does is it makes you feel like things are starting to come together in a way that you want it to. So that's one thing you got to do. But another thing you got to do is, I tell women, if you're not comfortable with your body, you've got to figure out some naked time.
Naked time. What's naked time?
You got to figure out naked time. And naked time is time where you are completely naked. You might have your house shoes on. You don't want to stub your toe. But you're naked in your own comfortable space doing regular things. Like putting up the dishes, washing dishes, just really getting comfortable being naked. Because what you're saying when you're not comfortable with your partner, you don't want them to look at you, you don't want them to see you without your shirt on, you want to keep certain objects on, and I understand that. But what you have to figure out, and what you have to understand, is that to men, when you're in that heat of the moment, it's not so much what it looks like, it's really more so how confident you are and how you work with what you've got. So, most guys will tell you, and you've seen it before. You've seen the beautiful girl that ends up, not really winning the guy, and he ends up with kind of just a regular girl, and everyone's like, well, why? Well, what's happening with this regular person is that she's just more comfortable with herself. She's able to sexually perform in a way that's different than someone who's not comfortable. So when you're comfortable with yourself, you can make that sex eye contact. You can make moves, you can ride while you're sitting straight up and not worrying about how everything's happening. So if you get more comfortable being naked during your naked time, then when it automatically transcends to when you're with your partner and you're more comfortable with them.
Well, and also, I think for that person, you're right. You have to put in the time, put in the work to deal with whatever it is you want to deal with.
Yep.
But I think what that person also has to understand is that, yes, you've had kids, but you're still married. And you have to deal with that man's wants and needs and desires, and he is still affirming you. And you can't just blow. You may not feel a certain way, but you can't just blow off the fact that he still wants you, still desires you, and that should play a part in your confidence.
Absolutely, very good point. Very good point.
Yes, why? Thank you.
Yeah, you're right.
We try every now and then.
I mean, the fact that he is coming on you, the fact that he's still attracted to you, should affirm your confidence. And then, ladies, you have to be clear. You have to start to differentiate between what's just a good excuse versus what's a legitimate excuse. So. And I'm saying this because when you're in a committed relationship with someone and sex is part of what you've committed to do, you really do at some point have to say, well, that may not be what I really feel like doing at this moment. But let me back off of what I feel like doing and go with what I know I should be doing. We do this with the gym. I mean, you get to the gym and you end up having a great workout. But it's a process. Get into the gym. Well, it's the same with sex. Okay, you don't want to mess your hair up. Okay, well, you're worried that the kids are going to come home. Okay. But you have to, at some point, learn to put that in the back of your head and really focus on the two of you for a good 15 to 20 minutes every now and then. And I'm finding that as couples are coming in, oftentimes I have to take one of the partners aside, and it is usually more the woman than the guy, but it's both, and say, look, we're at the point here where you're just coming up with excuses. So, I can't, as a physician and as a doctor, continue to try to make all your excuses make sense to your partner, because they don't. So at some point, you have to understand, when Nike says just do it, and really just commit to just doing it every now and then. You two will get along better, you'll communicate better. If you have a person in your life who is a sexually charged human being, if you don't recharge that sexual energy every now and then, you're going to end up with a light that has faded and dwindled. So we have to get it together and understand what it takes to sustain. So if I have a couple and the lady doesn't seem to understand how important sex is to her husband, then I say, well, how important is it to you that your house is clean every now and then? How important is it to you that you go shopping every now and then? How important is it to you that you look good when you go outside? Well, take those things that have come to be needs for you and understand that this is a sexual need for your partner and that you need to stimulate them sexually periodically.
Got some other questions here. How do I get my man to understand that I want him to do some stuff where I can ogle him? It's an interesting question in terms of, and I think probably what he's asking is, men want women to wear the lace, have the sexy outfits. What about him in the G-string? What about him in the fishnet boxes? What about him wearing something sexy for me?
Oh my goodness. Now this, ladies, is easy. Men are way more comfortable with their bodies most of the time than we are. Like if you start to really flatter your husband, hit him on his butt, talk about how sexy he is, sending him text messages about how fine he is and how great sex was last night, it's very easy to turn your guy into a sex object because that's where he wants to be. That's why men get online and start chatting with women when she leaves a message on his Instagram account. It's because he wants to feel sexy. So that's a very easy thing to do. And if you want him to start dancing for you and wearing certain things for you, buy it for them. Buy it for them and have them
put this on.
Yeah. Tell them I want you in that tonight. And you'd be surprised at how most guys will give you a little of that. Now, they may not wear it out to the pool or outside the house, but most guys will meet you on that and really feel flattered at the idea that you want to watch him for once. So take advantage of the fact that guys are as much an exhibitionist as any sexy woman is.
All right. I like music. I asked this question to Michelle Hope, and so it's interesting. You like music, you like scene setting, you like candles, you like all that sort of stuff. But he or she doesn't. Man, how do I deal with that? Okay, you dealt with it a little bit earlier when you said they want all the lights turned off and anything.
Mm-hmm.
Talk about that.
Okay, now the question is basically Roland, I'm confused about
Again,
the question.
The question is, you like playing music,
yeah,
or lighting candles, or mood setting, but that person ain't really down with that.
Sure.
But you like it. How do you deal with it? How do you balance it?
Oh, well, the balance is that something like candles and romance and all that extra stuff is for special occasions when you actually have the time for that. So I think we'd be hard pressed to find somebody that won't allow that every now and then. What you can't do is take a person who has, you know, candles just don't do it for me, massages just don't do it for me, and then all of a sudden now they're into massages and massages are turning them on. But what you can do with a person who doesn't want to step out of their sexual box and they've kind of decided, I don't like that and I'm not going to try that, is to really, instead of asking about the candles and all of that, just have them there. Just have them there. I think too often we ask for stuff. You know, it's one thing if you're a college co-ed and somebody's drunk and you have to ask them for permission to have sex, but it's a total different thing when the two of you are in a committed relationship. Instead of asking, your attempt to initiate sex needs to involve physical contact of some sort. It's too easy for me to sit here and you ask me for sex and be like, nah, not today. That's a very easy thing to do versus now all of a sudden you're on my neck and you're whispering in my ear, you're talking about what you want to do. Now it's much harder to get away from that sexual situation. So,
okay.
Be direct.
Another question I thought was pretty good. I want to talk dirty, but they don't like it when I do, or I want them to talk dirty, and they're not.
Well, here's the bad thing about talking. Some people love it. I mean, the sound of sexual words coming out of another person's mouth, or you telling me exactly what to do. To some people, that's an absolute turn on. But the problem is, to other people, that's an absolute turn off. And it's usually a turn off to people who are a little squeamish, people who are you know, just kind of wrapped tight about sex. They tend to, what happens is they'll be in their moment. They're turned on, they don't want to lose it, and now all of a sudden you've said something and it's thrown them off.
What the hell?
Call that a type A personality.
Okay.
Type A sex partner. So with these types of people, you have to understand that you talking to them is going to be a turn off. So you're going to have to keep your talking to a minimum. You are. You just are.
Text them.
Yeah.
Text them. Send them a tweet. Okay, I got to go to a break. I did not forget about the books. But the next segment, we're going to deal with books, but we're going to deal with should you sext? Should you do sexual FaceTime, Skype, on the Roland Martin Show? See, I told you, I got something for you. I just sit there and tweet out, Catch like, what the hell, bro? I said, told y'all we gonna have. Wait a minute, this fool, her voice is deep. Dude said her voice is deep. This other dude, George May, you were great with Roland Martin today. Hand clap.
Oh, that's nice.
That's funny. Okay, you had me hollering when you tossed to go to break, and I was like, "Girl, we got 3 minutes left in the segment."
Oh, I know you went like that.
No, I was like,
okay,
that was what I was like, ask a question. I was like, ask a question.
I was like, oh, like, oh shit.
I was like, girl, we ain't going to break yet. Ask a question. That was too funny.
That was pretty hilarious.
Too funny. I'm telling you, I bet these radio people like this boy. Because I had Michelle last week. It's a sister. I want you to meet her. I am mentoring her on her brand stuff. Her name is Michelle Hope. She has her master's. She's a young sister. I had her on the show. We did a whole segment on dating apps.
Okay.
And so she did that, and same thing. She was asking me for advice, counsel, and I was like, okay, you know what? This is what it takes. What we need to do. And so we had so I'm trying to get her to understand building process. So yeah, she's
That's cool.
good sister though. I think she was 30 or 31.
Okay.
So yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So what does she ultimately want to do?
Well, no, she in terms of sex therapist, psychologist. She does the conferences and she does all sorts of stuff like that.
Cool,
so yeah, she got a master's in human sexuality. She works with Jeffrey Canada's
What's her name?
Harlem Children's Michelle Hope. Her handle is MH Sexpert. I think that's her handle. Yeah. I tweeted, buy your man something sexy. Tell him you want to watch him in the G-string. This woman, Queen Luscious Black. I don't want to see that.
You see?
That's this person tweeted. No wonder. Wait a minute, hold up. And this is her Twitter photo.
Oh my goodness!
Really?
Get it?
That with a shoe up. Really? Really?
Wait, Queen Luscious Black. I see you, sister.
You see this here?
She said, "I love power, money, and sex." I thought,
spoiled by Queen Femdom. Okay, all right. So yeah, she's special. Hey folks, welcome back to the Roland Martin Show. This is called Grown Folk Friday.
Grown Folk Friday.
We started off with hashtag Me Inc. And then we quickly shifted into grown folk business, talking with Dr. Rachel. She is, of course, co-host on the syndicated daytime show, The Doctors. You can catch that. Check your local listings. You can catch it every single day. She's admiring my black and gold microphone.
Black and gold.
That's right. That's right. So we're having a great conversation. We're taking your questions. We getting some great issue of sexting.
Yes.
And
people are sharing their stories here on Twitter about
gone
wrong.
Yes, they are. So we had you on TV One before, and we talked about that, and that is, and we see it now. We see the sex tape stuff like that. But before we get to that area, we saw what happened when different celebrities had their iCloud breached.
Yeah.
And so intimate photos of Megan Good sent to her husband. Stuff that Gabrielle Union sent to Dwayne Wade, Jill Scott as well. Yeah. And that's a reality in terms of if you are sending stuff to people and you're putting it on the cloud, accidentally sending it to somebody you didn't mean to, accidentally posting it on social media.
Yeah.
But then also what happens when the relationship is over and that person has a treasure trove of stuff and they're pissed off, and you have these ex-girlfriends' websites where they posted nude photos and stuff like that.
Yeah, absolutely. I really think that in this day and age, if you want to send somebody naked shots of yourself, you should just leave your head out, you know? Because really your face is what defines that that's even you. So years later you go to run for Senate, or someone's trying to say, you know, I've got naked pictures of Rachel Ross. You can basically say, well, look, that's not even me. And prove that it's me because my head is
except on that screenshot, your phone number is right there.
Yeah, that's true.
And that's
true. And then when you're doing FaceTime, they can do a screen capture. I mean, there's so many different ways for your image to get out here. I tell people when you're sending a sext, you have to think of it like you're doing something. There is nothing you can do today that you are going to be 100% embarrassed about that someone else finds out about that you should actually do. Because in this day and age, nothing you do is really private. You know, there's always a way that someone can track or know exactly where you've been or what you've been looking at online. And so if you get to the point where you would be completely mortified if a naked picture of yourself or you fondling yourself down there hits the web, then you just simply should not send it.
So it was so funny. So I had a woman say, hey, if you're going to do FaceTime, what you do is you make sure that you tell them to back up. That way they can't take a screenshot.
Oh, that's a good idea.
I said, you're a pro.
But she's not considering the fact that people have remote control devices. Your phone
True that.
can control your thing. So, but that's a good idea.
Right. It was I was like, okay,
She's
good. Thought it through.
Step back from your computer while I show you my brush real quick.
Yeah.
Okay, I get it.
There you go. That way, let me see both of your hands.
Yeah.
I don't see any devices in your hands. I'm good. That will not be a screenshot.
I like that advice. That's good.
But it is, and when we talked about it a few months on the show, we were talking about married couples, and there are, and again, it goes to spicing the life, it goes to all of that, but again, for some folks, marriages end, and at the end of the day, it's a risk.
Yes.
But I've heard. I've read stories and I've heard from couples, people have responded on social media, how that has really spiced up their relationship. Getting a photo in the middle of the day, or hey, thinking of you, or this is waiting for you when you get home.
Yeah, definitely. But I think what happens is we start to think of sexting as just pictures and video. And there's a whole lot that you could accomplish with words that you're texting the person about it. So I think we've gotten away from what really, really stimulates someone. If you send a message to your guy throughout the day, it's something like, I can't wait to feel you inside of me, whatever hood version of that you have, or whatever version of that, this is the radio that you have, you send that to your partner, and you have to do it in a way that you two communicate. I mean, you can't use your slang and this person's 60. You have to really focus on getting your wording right, but you can really turn somebody on with a text full of words as much as you can with pictures. Now, if you were sending a picture of your penis to a lady right now, I guarantee you she's looking at it and rolling her eyes and thinking, why did he just send me that? So when you're sexting a lady, you're getting more out of sending a picture of your penis than she's getting out of it, okay? And then on top of that, she would prefer some good old-fashioned text in there. The only reason she really wants that picture is because she sent you one of hers, and now she has collateral just in case you try to do something with her picture. But most ladies don't really get much pleasure off of a snapshot of that.
All right, so let's talk video. So I have these video cameras, and where did I put them? Okay, so I love these Replay XD cameras.
You've got every gadget.
Well,
I
so
swear.
So you got these cameras right here. You see this camera right here. That's an HD camera, 1080 HD. In fact, it's Wi-Fi as well, and get sound as well. And then what happens is shoots amazing video. We've shot stuff on the red carpet with that. It's just amazing. And so all this sort of stuff has changed. And it's changed a lot. First of all, these people are hilarious. Tell him to move the camera up so we can see your face. Yeah, she's all, I don't know what y'all talking about. Something wrong with y'all phone. Something wrong with their phone. Anyway, something wrong with these people's phone here. Because her full frame is in the doggone picture on Periscope. These people are tripping. Okay, so couple, and they make a headset. They make a headset with that.
It goes into this.
All right. So what if a couple says, all right, we want to make our own tapes? Mm-hmm. So the same thing. We're not living in the digital world.
Yep.
So, all right, who gets to keep the video? Do you have this exact same advice? Do understand. The moment you make that video.
I kind of think if you're worried about what could happen to this video long term, which I think you should be. Technically you really should be worried about that.
Video. I mean, of course, Pamela Anderson and Tommy Lee, one of the most famous sex tapes. Ray J, Kim Kardashian, which was all by design. I can go down the whole line, but stuff got out.
Yeah, stuff gets out, stuff will get out. And so if you really, really want a video and you guys really just want it for yourselves and this isn't a cover-up to just scam a video, then why not go old school with it? There are still cameras that have tape, DVRs, DV tape.
Yo, that's all. Cause I know you got Dr. Reggie. Like, look, Dr. Reggie, like, look, you can't upload.
Yeah,
you got to digitize the tape. Yeah. You can't upload that file.
That's right. That's right. You go old school on them with that.
Oh no, Dr. Reggie gonna have y'all going out to the pawn shop looking for some VHS camcorders.
That's right.
Somebody gonna have a damn Betamax in their crib.
That's right. You put it on your iPhone, your Android, or whatever. It's just too easy for someone else to get that video. And to me, it's not really worth it. So if it's really for your own personal enjoyment, why not go an extra step?
Oh my God, that's funny. Okay, I can imagine seeing a run on pawn shops. Folks gonna be on eBay looking for an old camcorder, then trying to figure out where in the hell I buy the tapes from.
And you got one in your closet. You got a DVD.
Well, first of all, I still have my Sony Mini DV.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I had to digitize probably about. Well, first I had to digitize about 100 tapes, so I needed the player.
Yeah.
So please don't even. Oh my God, don't even. It is. I'm telling you, as a techie, I can tell you right now, it is fabulous how technology has totally changed the game. Because you can just quickly pull a file up. Yeah. I ain't want to have a flashback of the tapes. But that is funny. Folks gonna be making a run on videotapes. That is too funny. They're gonna be like, oh no, we got to get that. But yeah, really cool. But again, you got people who are and people are doing this. And the reason I am I'm putting this asking the questions. It's because this is where people are, and it's just, and I think people are looking for guidance, and there are couples out there, and I'm telling y'all, I do lots of reading, I see a lot of crazy stories out there, but the thing, Doc, there are couples who are always trying to keep the relationship tight and right.
Yes, as they should be. So I can't knock them for wanting to put a little video in there, but we do have to keep in mind, once you put something on video, there's no telling what could happen. Someone could get into your computer, you could accidentally leave it up on the screen, the kids see it. I mean, there's all types of risks involved, and if you want to take that risk, then go for it, because I think it does stimulate things. It does make you guys feel closer. It does do a little something in terms of your sexual
because
chemistry.
We are, and this goes back to whether it's video, whether it's, and even to a certain degree, whether you're talking about porn, whether you're talking about even talking, we are auditory and visual people. Mm-hmm. We respond to what we see and what we hear, even if it's ourselves. Now, some folks might say, turn it off, but that's just, that's how our brains work that way.
No, definitely. And it doesn't turn everybody on to see themselves having sex. As a matter of fact, some people will tell you it turned them off. They didn't know their butt looked like that. They didn't know everything was, so it's not for everybody. And if you've ever watched yourself have sex, then you know which side of things you are on it. But if this is something that you get off on and something you want to do, you just have to make sure you take precautions and do it right.
I promised it. I need all of you get your pens ready. Get your pens or type it in your phone. Books. When we come back, the Roland Martin Show, for our final segment with Dr. Rachel. This is the Roland Martin Show. Smart to the text. Those faces during sex.
Love faces.
They're so wrong. They're so wrong. Books. I'm trying to think. I got, oh my goodness. Your book still in print?
Yeah. I don't, there's a couple copies available.
Why don't you know what you need to do?
What's that?
Here's the deal. You don't even have to try to publish it. But here's what you do. Amazon has a new self-publishing deal that's really their own publishing house.
Okay.
And the way the deal works, you still own it.
Mm-hmm.
They do the full service editing, everything else. But if you don't need, you can do a la carte. If you have your own ISBN number, you can say, I only need y'all to handle Library of Congress stuff, this, that, and the other. And then what they do is, for them, it's print on demand. They got their own printing firm and everything like that. Oh. What you can do is, if you want to get 100 copies to go sell in the book sign, you'll get a cut rate. They'll print them, ship them to you as well. They'll give you your own coding. So if they buy it through your cart, I think you get, if it's $10, there's a pricing chart. If it's $10, you get 4 of those $10 that's coming through your chart. If it comes through Amazon.com, you get $1.50, $2 or something along those lines. But that way, that's something about to do with listening to the Spirit within. So you still maintain all ownership rights, and in fact, you can go cut a deal with the publisher, but you still own the ownership rights.
Oh, wow.
Yes, I'll send you the. I was checking it out, and it was awesome because I was looking at having an option versus damn, I gotta get a printing deal. I gotta go print 2,000-3,000 copies.
Right.
No. And so when you need books, notify them. They probably have those to you in 48 hours.
Really?
Yes.
Okay, that's awesome.
Yeah. Because like I told you first time, always push product. Always.
Yeah.
Always. If you got that way, and because same thing, I don't want to sit here, and have cases in my garage, and now I'm dealing with space, and now I got to put out that money up front.
Exactly.
And so for instance, for my book, the Library of Congress stuff, what's great about that is I don't have to worry. I don't feel like trying to go through that. I can say I'll pay that $250. They take care of that. I need y'all to. I don't need your graphic designer. Their biggest deal is as long as your design stuff meets their specs, and like you pay another fee, and then they place your book on all of their Kindles in Kindle platforms worldwide as well. So it's a great. I forgot that. I'll email it to you.
Okay.
And what happens is if you go online, they'll call you like within a couple of hours. And so I've had conversations with them about it.
Wow. Okay.
It's pretty cool. And so I'm probably gonna do that I'm gonna listen to the Spirit Within. I'm gonna publish Roland's Rules and do the exact same thing. Yep. It's a pretty cool platform.
That is.
So that way your book is still in print, it's still there, so when you're doing stuff, you don't have to work. Right. You put it on, you put that coding on your site, say go to my site to buy it, you're gonna get a larger share than just going to Amazon.com.
Got it. That's awesome.
Come on now. Huh. You know.
Yeah, I know.
We'll be right back.
There we go. Folks, we're in the home stretch of the Roland Martin Show. Glad that you have been with us. Fascinating time, fun times with Dr. Rachel here. All right, Doc. We've been trying to educate people. We've been trying to help folks out. We've been trying to talk to folks. Folks have been saying, I need some books. I need some knowledge. I need some stuff to learn from what you got.
You know what? Honestly, to me, the best book, and then really, I'm counseling mostly couples who are really trying to figure out this way, the thing of trying to keep sexual chemistry alive through the years, and really just trying to connect. Honestly, my favorite book for couples, even though you're going to be like, what does this have to do with sex, is The Love Languages.
Yes, Gary Chapman.
Yeah.
The 5 love languages.
The 5 love languages.
Yes.
Because it starts with the foundation of what great sex life is going to mean for two people. It means that we know how to communicate sexually in a way that my partner understands to mean I love you, I enjoy having sex with you, and I'm turned on, which I think is something we don't talk about enough. You want your partner to be turned on. You don't want sex to be something that becomes a chore. And in order for it to be to the point where you guys are both stimulated sexually and one person's not just, pretending or going through the motions, you guys have to learn how to communicate through one of those 5 love languages.
Okay. I believe, and this is not a sex book, Stormy O'Mardian's The Power of a Praying Husband and the Power of a Praying Wife. Because they really speak about not just about faith, but really how that informs one's perspective in terms of what it means to be a husband, it means to be a wife. But what I do, though, I instruct the women to also read The Power of a Praying Husband. I tell the men to read The Power of a Praying Wife.
Okay.
So they understand that perspective too.
I like it. Well, I have to read these books to understand why you recommended them. But I mean, just based off of the title, it sounds like a winner.
The books are phenomenal because so then there's another book. Oh my goodness, I'm trying to remember. Why it's escaping me right now. First of all, obviously everybody talks about the joy of sex, but I believe every couple should get them a massage book.
Oh, and how to give your partner a massage. I like that.
And so now here's the other piece, y'all. Look, hey, if you ain't got no money, fine, go and get you some baby oil. But don't get no baby oil. Invest in some real oils.
Some real massage oils.
Some real massage oils. Get you some Kama Sutra massage oil. Okay?
And really, taking it one step further, don't use baby oil for anything sexual.
There you go.
Yeah.
Just if you ain't got lotion, you go ahead and use baby oil.
No.
But I tell people, get your Kama Sutra. Mm-hmm. They got the original. They got mango, chocolate, raspberry. They got the kits, travel kits. They got a home kit.
Well, you sound like
they got honey dust powder. But you can't use it. You cannot mix the massage oil and the honey dust powder. Does not taste good.
Well, you heard it first.
Because all the massage oils are edible.
On the rolling market.
They even have chocolate.
Now tell us that again. Don't mix the
Do
dust.
not. Trust me. Not a good combination.
So what ends up happening? I want to
just don't taste good. Don't taste good. Don't taste good at all. No, don't do it. But so because they have this honey dust powder, they have the massage oils. Not a good combination. Don't do them together. Don't do them together.
Did you burn your tongue?
No, it's gonna leave an aftertaste.
Oh,
you don't want that. But again, get you some real massage oils. But I really do believe a massage kit, a massage book, because that's another thing. Because again, it's whether you're a man or a woman, when someone just gives you a sensuous massage, and there's a book on sensuous massage that is excellent as well.
Sensual massage, that's another name for outer course, hand job, fingering. Sensual massage is such an important part of a relationship that if you're not using your hands periodically, then you're not doing something right.
And on that, okay? Bros, listen to me on this. Brothers, I need y'all to hear this. Men, I need you to hear me. There is nothing wrong with you getting a damn manicure. No. A woman does not want to experience a hangnail.
Hangnail, nor do we like the dirty nail inside us.
But a hangnail hurts. I'm sick because see, dudes trip me out. Oh man, I ain't getting a manicure. If you do not know how to clip your nails and to file your nails, I'm trying to tell you, women ain't feeling because they don't want to feel them damn fingernails.
A snag, no. Not at all. That's good advice.
I'm trying.
That's good weekend advice.
I'm trying to help somebody out. If your woman don't want you touching her, look at your hands.
Look at your hands. Look at your nails.
Your hands might be a problem.
That's true. That's very true. And then if you're going to be one of those people that clips your nails, you first use the file to get the edges.
No, that's why I said you got to. It's an emery board, guys. There's a reason. If you're gonna clip them, then you got to file them. You got to smooth them out.
Gotta get the edges.
You got to smooth them out, and then when you done, okay, you can't go to the manicure. Go get you some Vaseline and put on your hands, and then that with the fit, because you can't have no rough clipping and filing. I'm trying to help some fellas out. Any other books that jump out?
I think the best resource for sex at this moment is drrachel.com. So go to drrachel.com. Whatever it is sexually that you're looking for.
Now Doc has a book. What's the book?
Downright Feel Right. It's an outer course book. Outer course for her and for him. The stuff for him is on one side, flip it. It's an old school flip book. And then for her on the other side, it's perfect. Two people can sit and kind of read the parts to each other. So it's kind of good, like we were talking about. Hearing the words coming out of your partner's lips is a turn on. So it kind of turns you on. But it's also kind of an educational tool on how to perform outer course, which is fingering, hands, mouth, sucking, licking, properly on your partner.
All right. So name the book again.
Downright Feel Right. Outer course for her and for him.
So y'all can get the book online. I'm trying to get Doc to publish a book to make it more readily available. Trust me. So I have not stopped pushing her and pushing her.
Yes, pushes and he pushes.
Yes, absolutely.
I love it.
Absolutely, you have to do that.
That's what friends are for.
So I'm trying to think about. See, the problem right now is y'all understand. I got more than 1,000 books in my library at home. So if I was at home right now, I could do a quick scan and go, you know what? That one right there. So I know there's several I'm leaving out. Go ahead.
Yes, the Tao of Sexology. Okay, now this is a really, really good book, and it's nothing complicated. Any lay person could read it. But what it does is it kind of talks about kind of just different. We live in a Western world where we kind of do things one way, but this is more of Chinese and Asian traditions on sexual practices, and it really kind of helps you understand sexually why some things are good for you and why they're not. Different techniques. They've got a really good section on there on lasting longer, on how to get men to be able to last longer during sexual
Now, what's the
intercourse.
book again?
It's called The Tao of Sexology, spelled T-A-O of Sexology.
The Tao of Sexology.
Yes.
Okay.
And it's really good because traditionally, whenever a gentleman comes to a sexologist or a website and asks, how can I last longer? You get the same advice all of the time. What I like about the Tao of Sexology is it actually takes you into other ways that you could do it. So actually, they talk about kind of numbing yourself, You see it during
The Tao of
videos.
Sexology, the Book of Infinite Wisdom.
Yes.
By Dr. Stephen T. Chang.
And it is very good. It's a good read. It's entertaining. Some of it, you'll be like, wait a minute, that might be a little bit too much for me. But the majority of it is a
Now, you sure this is it? Because they got some other ones.
No, that's it.
I see The Tao of
That's
Health,
the cover
Sex, and
right
Longevity, a modern practical guide.
No, it's by Dr. Chang. It's that one.
All
I
right.
don't know that guy.
Okay.
But yeah,
all right.
Dr. Chang's book is first class. I think you'll enjoy it. And it gives you a different perspective. And, sex is something globally, internationally, everybody has it. So to understand different cultures, ways of dealing with sex really kind of helps you become a better sex partner.
What's the website again?
drrachel.com.
All right,
drrachel.com.
And of course, you can also catch her every day on the syndicated show, The Doctors, and give the book again.
Downright Feel Right, outer course for her and for him.
See, look at it. See, you got to sell the book. Doc, I appreciate it. It's been great.
Always a pleasure.
Thanks to all the folks on Meerkat, on
Thanks,
Periscope, on Stream, on Google Hangout. Those listening via TuneIn. Thank you all the folks listening on the radio as well. You have a fabulous, fabulous weekend. I'll see you Monday right here on the Roland Martin Show. Take care. Peace. Okay, so let's stop broadcast. Stopping. Successfully terminated. See, what's great about this here, the moment you finish it. All right, folks, y'all take care. Have a great weekend. I'll see y'all later. Peace.
See y'all later.
Stop broadcast. Okay, that's going to save. All right, my stream people. Y'all have a good one. We got to go. Oh.
Hasta la vista. That's awesome.
So you get a total of. So that tells you who liked the stream. And then. All right, Meerkat peeps.
All right, we'll see you later.
Okay, hold on. My question is, okay, we already asked that question. Let me go back down here. See if there are any new, so they like that. Okay. Okay. All right, y'all. Looks like we got all the questions out of the way. All right, Meerkat, y'all take care. See, we had a ton of people who were checking
That's
this
pretty
out.
cool.
Yes, indeedy. Y'all have a good one. Peace.